1.5 billion is it'll make it.
I don't think that was it. Hey, you know, Hakeem Jeffries says he's going to hold back the budget. Tox, you have to be so proud.
I am.
He's holding it back like a dam.
He doesn't like our scheme, our budget scheme. Not that anybody else
is really okay for them.
Right. You mean he has a problem with wasting the taxpayers' money?
No, he likes doing that. He's very unhappy with the fact that.
I'm sorry, I phrased that wrong. He's not happy the fact that they're stopping him from wasting taxpayers' money.
Yeah, that's it.
When you go to star a super chat now, it puts it into the chat.
Okay.
Which chat?
Like if you're displaying the chat like we are right now. So it reposts the chat.
Alright, so if I take this and I turn it off and I put it back on. I love EV Mods.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I see that. Oh, no, it's different.
Culture Casino.
Yeah, that's my fault, Brian. I was doing a new role for TNT, and I wanted comics to see it, so took a little extra time. He didn't beat me.
Not yet.
But don't worry, we took that time that you guys lost out of Culture's outro.
Yeah.
Outro.
As soon as he starts talking, he gets to punch him out.
Speaking of, I showed Mrs. Flu some of the things that these horrible people in my room have been doing to me. So I showed her the first one, she laughs. And the second one, she's actually falling out of the chair. She finds this humorous. So I hate them. I hate them all.
Well, do you see that you've suddenly morphed into a She-Hulk?
Yes. I showed her that one. She was particularly tickled by that. So, she has seen me in a bikini before. That was a trouble.
Well, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas talks.
That was my second marriage. Fuck Vegas. You in the TNT role, buddy.
Yeah, he did. Kind of.
Culture's still here, Randall.
What?
Yeah.
It's so late the gay left. Everything's right there.
We're so late the gay left.
That's not nice.
Let's see here.
Why?
So I texted comics at 8:45 this morning.
Gagging you with entertainment.
Morning, Grumdrop Balls. I hope your day is filled with smiles and joy and not sticky nads because the sugar on them melts as you walk.
Would you like to hear my responses?
His response is, why are you gay? And I said, well, someone made me watch Captain America Brave New Toilet Wand. And then probably the greatest response of all time, your gayness is a pre-existing condition before that movie.
The best part, I was driving out to a client site while you were texting me. and he sends me this image, right? I'm like,
I don't know what it is.
It's like I'm driving. I have no idea what you sent me. Because his response was like, oh, I probably should delete that.
Yeah, so what the hell? I can't delete that shit.
I was like, what the fuck? Did you send me like a dick pic or something? It's like, I don't want.
Dude, did you send me a picture of your balls?
Yeah.
No, don't have wide angle lens on this camera. More like a microscope. I'm like, damn, going back to the 7th grade for that one. Yep. If there's anything we do, it's keeping it juvenile. I'm like, that's going on a shirt, damn it.
If there's anything we do is keeping it juvenile.
Keeping it juvenile.
Yeah. That should be
I might
like
even
a
misspell it.
like a Thursday Night Throwdown shirt or Monday Meltdown
Yeah, we should
shirt.
do it that way.
Yeah.
Like,
It says
with
keeping
our-
it juvenile. Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the next member shirt. Remember, so if you've been a member for a year, let me know, and
Yeah,
I'll
we should
get
do
you a
that.
shirt.
Good,
And that'll
idea.
be the new one for 2025.
Yes.
Keeping it juvenile.
Indeed. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday. We had the this morning's text messages with Toxic Man Flu, and now we have the official drop for Captain America: Brave New Toilet Wand.
What are you talking about?
I fucking love that, Tox. Every time I hear Captain America: Brave New World, it immediately translates to toilet wand because
It just rolls off the tongue.
it
It
kind of
does.
does.
It
Yeah.
does.
Anyway, here's the rest of the crew. I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the man flu is on top row. For some reason,
Huh?
nothing.
Did
No.
you just throw me to the bottom?
Well, actually, I'm gonna
Culture
fix
stop
this.
heavy breathing.
Yeah, for cultures ADD or ADHD or OCD, ABCDEFG, libtiqua plus. I don't know. what he has.
Libatiqua plus.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Nothing. I have the two
He's making
on
it
camera
symmetrical
people.
for you.
Yes. Because I'm pretty sure this would like cause you to go insane or something like that.
It's still technically symmetrical. It's left
You know
side,
what
right
causes
side.
me to go insane?
What's that? Oh, Jesus Christ. No. 99999.
I caught you, and we got to see about a split second of Gary in those fishnets. Ugh.
All I know is that Germany almost got out of a disaster, but not really.
Okay.
World War
correct.
II?
Yeah, they did not elect the AFD. They put the worst possible WEF selection MERS's party in charge, and they are going to form a coalition. They're going to go against everything they said. They are not going to shut down the borders, and they are going to form a coalition with the Greenies. Everything they told their party to get elected was a lie.
Wow.
The supposed moderate, slightly moderate right is now going to team up with the far left rather than who they call the far right.
Which is not.
Wow.
They're not far right.
Oh, great job, Germany.
Not really.
But at least the actual somewhat conservative party did pull into second place with 29% and still growing as the percentage.
Oh, yeah,
of
they're
votes
growing
that
like-
getting.
But it's okay, guys. If you were afraid that they were going to go and reverse those laws where they could show up at your house and take your phone and your laptop because you posted mean tweets, no, that's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
You guys in Germany are fine.
And this is why the parliamentary system doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you have to get a coalition of the farthest left and the moderate right, rather than doing anything with what they consider the far right, then you're really, any of the laws that you're passing are really only about favored by about 20% of the country.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's that.
Or
You know,
voted
and that's the problem is because they couched the other party as being far to the extreme, which they're not. You know, and all their media's fixed and kind of like ours is, right? Where they're all, you know, communists. You know, they just basically elected the wet dream of the WEF. He's fully owned and sycophantic, and they're going to be fucked. And I tell you what, if what's her name, Alicia, she actually gets her way over there, this government won't last very long either. They'll have to have another election. Oh, by the way, they counted 80 million votes, if I'm not mistaken, in 24 hours, less than that. And
Well, it's
California
easy to count them when they're all fake.
and California can't count 16 million in 40 days. So
Well, you know, you still need those 3 ballot dumps in, you know, California.
Right.
You don't have to worry
Multiple
about
times.
that, I guess, in Germany, because everybody there is.
Well, it just highlights how revolutionary the American form of constitutional government that was formed back in 1780s was to everything else. They recognized what was going on in those other countries and how they would just not work. And Madison and them talk about it, how democracies just boil down to 50.1 versus 49.9. And whoever has that power. That's how those boil down to, and they never work. So, I mean, what are you going to do at that point?
What was interesting about this election was that the country is essentially split along the old German lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
East
The
versus
East
Germany.
has dealt with communism, and it was only 40 years ago that they still had the wall.
Oh, and they
They were
also
like, no, we don't want anything to do with the left.
they've also been shown. They've also been able to show that there's been very inconsistent stuff going on with this last election.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Well,
big
And
problem.
that the youthful male vote is moving hard to the right, even
Nice.
there.
We're late today, 9 minutes.
Right.
Just not 30 minutes or 20 or whatever. But we were late today. So the numbers are in for Captain America, Brave New Toilet Wand. And the one thing I thought was really fucking hilarious, and we'll pull these numbers up here, is that there was a massive Friday to Friday drop, which was 82% Friday to Friday, which is pretty fucking bad. That is really fucking bad Friday to Friday. Obviously, it did average out to 68%, which was pretty spot on. A lot of people were basically saying 68% was going to be the drop.
Well, let's do different math though. Remember, the weekend is now 5 days long.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that's so fucking funny about all this is that they're trying to say that they had a 3-day weekend, and it's like, yeah, it was basically a fucking week. Okay. When we compare these numbers. But yeah, 82% drop Friday to Friday. They did recover a little bit on Saturday, which honestly I was surprised at.
Here,
I honestly
let me do
did
this
not
for you.
think that this was going to go up. Oh, fucking A. I did not transition it over like an idiot.
I got you. That's
Thank you.
It's that producer.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I
producer
press a button.
did his job, unlike the idiot who's running the show, or
Yeah,
the
that
host
guy
of the show.
sucks.
Yeah, he totally sucks. But yeah, not looking so good, guys. Especially
So some of
when we-
our more conservative total predictions are starting to look a little bit more likely.
So you're saying that 1.5 billion that I came up with probably isn't going to happen?
Probably
Seems
not.
unlikely.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably going to end up at 350 worldwide. Would be my guess at this point.
If we were asking the Magic 8 Ball Talks, it would say, my sources say no.
Yeah.
Right.
Sources say unlikely.
Sources say unlikely. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go and compare this drop to what we saw with Ant-Man, Commie Mania. God damn it! Helps if I can fucking type.
And welcome to Swearing with the Dicks Division on Monday night.
On Monday Night Meltdown. That is not what I wanted. Go back. I gotta get rid of this.
How are you doing there?
Watching old men try to navigate the internet.
Internet, it's difficult. There we go.
At least I'm not. I forgot.
Oh, okay. All right, so
Tom Hanks. At
that's
least I'm
quite
not
the-
Tom Hanks. There we go. There's the
yeah, at
joke.
least
Okay.
you're not Tom Hanks.
Funny.
Yeah. The funny thing about all this is that Ant-Man and the Wasp performed rather poorly when it came out. What was it? 2 years ago?
About that, I think.
Yeah. And this is performing worse. So, yeah. Marvel is massively fucked. They are absolutely fucked. The funny thing is that they keep reporting the budgets that are inaccurate. Okay, so the production budget for Quantumania was not 200 million. Culture, what was it close to? Was it?
Oh, it was a little higher than that.
Yeah.
It not as egregiously as
Was it
Captain
325,
America.
350?
yeah, it wasn't quite that high, but it was higher than that. The production budget for Captain America: Brave New World, however, is
not 180.
not even anywhere close. That they shot 2 entire films plus additional reshoots. So
Yeah.
all of that's a lie.
Yeah. So and okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Culture, but they didn't shoot anything in the UK, did they?
Who?
For
Captain
Oh,
America.
no.
Captain America.
Everything was in the States.
Okay.
It was Georgia, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
Primarily.
yeah, I mean, technically, Quantum Media lost about 92 million.
Mhm.
The budget was 388.4 million.
Wait, for
Quantum Media.
okay, 388.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's the same budget practically.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah.
And that one only had some reshoots, and didn't they swap directors?
Yeah, they didn't have
'Cause they brought
nearly as,
Raimi in to try to fix it, right?
yeah, exactly. And they didn't have nearly as many issues as were reported on the Brave New World movie that just came out. So, but I mean, you're looking at, okay, so a budget of 388.4 million. What's in the reported budget? There's 200. So it was approximately the post-production costs are what ate up the budget with that. But the movie only made $476 million in its box office run.
Right.
So it lost $92 million. And they try to say that if you factor in Blu-ray sales, merchandise, and streaming, that it actually may have turned a profit. Whereas I'm going to tell you right now, none of those things are going to happen with Captain America: Brave New World.
Not even close.
The 388 number you're giving us, though, that is still just a production budget, not the marketing added in, right?
No, that's just the market. Excuse me, that's just the production budget. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, 388. Well, and here's the thing that's crazy about it. We know that this movie's had multiple rounds of reshoots. They basically reshot the movie. Of course, the trades are fucking lying about it, even though they reported on it like last year, because they kept talking about, it's going back for reshoots for 3 months, and it's like 3 months is basically the amount of time it takes to shoot a fucking movie.
Well,
all right.
Speaking of reshoots, aren't they redoing the movie Rust? Sorry.
No, I think they just finished
They
it.
did.
Yeah.
So Sherry Sherry bets that every one of you would watch Captain America: Braving Sydney Sweeney's.
Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't?
I believe that is a more true fact than me saying that this movie's going to make 1.5 billion worldwide.
Yeah,
for definite, sure. That's pretty dang funny.
Yeah, this is retarded. But yeah, and I'm not sure if they are using these numbers because that was what was reported by Disney.
The actual amount of spend so far on Brave New World, because of overruns and reshoots, drove the budget to $380 million.
Oosh.
I honestly think it's more than
Randall's real close to that. Randall said 180 million original. He'd say final cost 350.
Well, it was
Twisted Reality says around 400 million.
I honestly think that if they literally shot this movie twice, I think the budget's probably closer to 400 to 500 million. Well,
okay, so I've heard multiple different numbers. The 380 is the one that's most often reported.
Right.
So the 425 was the number I was told.
425, that sounds more like it.
Yeah, so I'm just saying this thing ran over a bunch. So I'm going to say it cost a minimum of 380 million.
Right. minimum.
Yeah.
Then add what, 180 for marketing?
About
So
180. Yeah, about 180. So about 560. So this had to make $1 billion to break even. But I'm going to be kind all around and say that it doesn't really matter what all of those numbers were, because this is having trouble, or will have trouble, getting over 400 million.
Right.
All right. So what we're saying is this movie, and follow me here. Sherry goes, "Oh my God, why would you give me that visual, Randall?" So I'm like, I've got to go in the chat and find out just what he
What
said.
the visual was, yeah.
It was
Right,
one I had
and-
to uncover.
Yeah. And so I found it, and what he said was, where'd it go? Oh,
This movie is
this
floppier
movie is
than Biden's
floppier
dick.
than Biden's dick. And I, too, am not happy with Randall for giving me that visual.
Oh. Well, just
That does explain, though, with a floppy dick like that, how he kept wrecking on that bike.
yes. Well, that and I'll have to say is just lay back and think England.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't
Indeed.
know. What? Oh, my God. That's so apparently we're team swollen for Sweeney. Sherry's hiding. Oh, yeah. So, okay.
Indeed. But yeah, this movie
Randall
it
does
is-
speak the truth. That's true.
it is fucked. I mean, pretty much at this point, I mean, going forward, they really have to rein the budgets in, right? If they actually want to be successful with the MCU, and they want to get back to form, they need to rein this shit in. The one thing I think is really hilarious is they keep touting, oh, this movie made more money than the original Captain America movie. And again, what we're seeing is access media fuckery coming from this because when that movie came out, it was was it 2011 or 2013 Culture? Do you remember?
For which?
The original,
Captain America.
The first
Uh,
Avenger.
First Avenger, I think, was 2011.
Okay. All right. So ticket prices significantly cheaper back in 2011. So the fact that they're saying opening weekend, this movie made more money. It's like, okay, well, first off, tickets were what, $8?
What,
They were
what did
much
it make
cheaper.
Yeah.
back then.
Now it's shit.
yeah,
Dude, I paid like $25, like with tax and everything, and the booking fee. $25 fucking dollars to see this movie.
Yeah, let's get back to that. So the film domestically pulled 176 million. It pulled internationally 193.9 million, so a grand total worldwide of 370.5 million.
Mm.
And that was back in July of 2011.
So that was 100 million.
And in the infancy
300
of the MCU.
370.5 million in 2011.
So obviously Captain America, much smaller budget, actually 140 million. Well, okay. Reported.
No, actually, no, that would have been an actual budget back then.
Okay. I wasn't sure because if there was it actually did cost more than 140 million or not.
Shooting days were consistent with the budget. There wasn't there didn't appear to be any cost overruns. Probably spent 75 to 90 million on promotion.
Yeah. And the other thing too that we need to take into consideration is the inflation adjustment and whatnot. So this number right here, far different. If it was actually adjusted for inflation.
Wow. That adjustment for inflation is way higher than I thought. Okay. 2011, 375.5 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Today's dollars, that's $530.3 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dollar has about half of its value that it had
41%
back then.
inflation
Yeah.
in 10, well,
It
14
also opened
years.
in less theaters and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 3,800 theaters and 3,700 theaters.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So going forward, they need to bring these budgets back down to, I would say, about this number if they want to be profitable. And
maybe have scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real numbers, they
maybe
had to
actually.
make 197 million to be the same as the 140 million. they
Well,
made.
and then, but see, there's broader things here. I mean, advertising budgets were much less in comparison to a percentage of the film cost. See, that's the other magic number here. Marketing budgets went from being just about marketing the film to also like preemptively purchasing even more tickets than small marketing budgets used to do. You know, the big craze with that came because of the original Captain Marvel film, when the marketing budget was extensively used to purchase tickets to offset the numbers they were concerned they wouldn't get in the first 2 weekends of that film release. So there were still marketing dollars left over, or marketing that was being done, or tickets that were being given out at later dates. So that kind of got a long run, but it was all bled off of a marketing budget. This is a conversation that we should have about these films that are opening the way that they do, and then suddenly finding the bottom, because this film clearly had some of their marketing spend in the tickets. So just keep that in mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing
I
to
was
think
thinking
about is, go ahead. Sorry.
This is one thing I was thinking about too, is that this movie probably just broke even. The original Captain America, and this is what Virtual Reality Fitness mentions, that the first Avenger probably only broke even. Yeah.
But the other thing that's changed is the amount of people that are actually seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Because you have the inflated dollar, it doesn't really go to show that there were a lot more people then that actually bought tickets to see the movie. Those people have now left the MCU.
Well, and that was one of the things that Ryan broke down in a video, because they keep wanting to compare this to Winter Soldier. And it's like more people saw Winter Soldier than this movie. And again, ticket prices were not as expensive as they are now. So, you know, that's
which is how we know more people saw it. Because
it was the butts and seat factor is the thing that you kind of need to calculate into all of this. When you think about First Avenger, you have the fact that the numbers report those earnings adjusted for inflation rather aggressively. The situation back then with the box office was that there were 6 other revenue streams for this film after it came out of theaters. That doesn't exist any longer.
The other thing too is, like, a lot of the Avenger movies I actually bought on DVD, right? I mean, or I should say MCU movies. Now I don't, because they're fucking garbage. Why would I? It's like,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like non-direct comparisons here, and that's unfortunate. You're right. The DVD and Blu-ray sales here were like $170 million after the fact. And see there, L11 Alpha says 150, but yeah, it was staggering. You had the other sales markets, like these films directly went to Netflix, and they went to HBO, and they went to Showtime, and they went
making
to
money off that.
Max. And then they went to
TV Premiere,
TV and cable channels, and all these other methods to make money that don't exist anymore. So the threads of revenue that don't exist because Hollywood just destroyed them for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I was going to bring up too, because you mentioned the whole thing with the it going to Netflix and whatnot. Disney going and developing Disney Plus was such a bad fucking idea.
Oh yeah,
because of the fact that they were getting so much money from the royalties for allowing another platform to stream their content, or their movies or TV shows. I mean, back then it was more movies and
Which
TV
they
shows
didn't
than
have
just
to
content.
maintain.
Yeah.
Or anything. All they did, that's just them getting money for stuff they've already done. That was the loss that all these people doing their own streaming service, that they just got full of themselves smelling their own farts, right?
Well, they thought it was going to be a successful model, right? That's the issue here is, people talk about the streaming wars with all these different streaming platforms. The issue is the fact that when everybody has one, it stops being, I don't know,
Awful.
Well, no. It stops being important, right? It's like TV stations at that point. You have thousands of channels and nothing's on, right? I mean, that's like the old joke. Where when you had Hulu and Netflix, what was the other one? It was just Hulu and Netflix. When you had the two. Yeah, I mean,
And
all
Hulu
the-
would do some live TV. Netflix did no live TV, so
Right.
that was the only reason to have both.
right. And it was more affordable. You paid, $20 for both, and you had access to all these movies and TV shows. Now everybody has their streaming platform. Not everybody's going to go and sign up for it, and that's the big issue right there. Streaming has essentially replaced cable. You're paying $300 for all these streaming platforms, which is stupid, on top of internet and probably cable. Where if they just kept Netflix and Hulu, and the fact that Disney had stakes in Hulu at the time, they could release TV shows on that platform rather than D Plus. And now they own both Hulu and D Plus, which is
And ESPN
pointless.
Plus and all that
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yep.
So they're having to maintain 3 separate platforms, and they're having to triple the number of people that they have to do that. That's on their payroll. That's all dragging them down, as opposed to natural competition of the Netflix delivery model. Like, I recently dove into how all these delivery models are actually happening on the internet. Okay.
Right.
And Netflix is embedded with the ISPs. So they have giant servers with a ton of data, and they just every night upload the favorites that were popular the day before onto these ISPs, local ISPs. So when you go and see something out of Netflix, it's at your local ISP. And you get that, you download it, bam, there you go. And with Netflix, you can it will tell you what device you're on and give you the right bit rate for it. Okay. That model is very hard to get into. It takes a lot of time to get into that model. It is that's why you have as little problems as you do with Netflix.
Right.
Right. And the others, you have a lot of problems. You have a lot of problems with Disney Plus, have a lot of problems with Hulu.
Unless it's a live sporting event.
Yes. But
Then
that's
Netflix
different
sucks.
because that's on their national satellites, which is a
Right.
completely, it goes back to the whole thing like Landman, a horrible show. But anyway, Landman, where he's describing, yes, even if we had all these windmills and they do all this stuff, it'd take 130 years for us to build the infrastructure to deliver the electricity. It's the same exact thing with these. Netflix has been able to build this model, and the model that they built for their online is the same one that they started out with, which was DVDs at a centralized vending machine at different locations across a major city.
That's
Well, even
Redbox.
before that, it was just sending them to you through the mail.
Yeah,
Sending to you through the mail, right?
Netflix did it through the mail. Redbox did it through.
Redbox did it
Redbox,
through the other, right? But Netflix sending it to you through the mail, all that kind of stuff from there. But they had the same thing. They had these movies at a centralized location, similar to what Amazon's been doing with their distribution centers.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So they did that. Which that's some other things. I was thinking Redbox, and it's the same thing, just mail order.
Yeah.
And they took that same model and moved that into their streaming service. The rest are trying to catch up. You can't do it. It's why nobody's going to get caught up to YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to build 119 specific data centers for your stuff
Well, yeah, and the fact
next
that
year.
YouTube is essentially 20 years old this year, right? Probably, maybe it's a little older. I think it was 2005 when they officially launched. But yeah, they have 20 years of basically doing this. And so anyone who wants to create their own version of YouTube literally has 20 years of development to try and catch up with. I mean, that's an oversimplification. But the issue, having worked for a hosting company that was a competitor to Rackspace, all we ever did was play catch up. We could never really innovate because we're too busy trying to be
trying to put the infrastructure
Implement
in
the
place
things
to
that
be
are
the same.
already defaulted in YouTube at this point.
Yeah. It's the same idea here. Everything that anybody wants to do, whether it's being the next Netflix or being the next YouTube, you have all this development you have to do. Meanwhile, you're playing catch up while YouTube is basically going and innovating as much as they can. Same thing with Netflix currently. And competition is a good thing. The problem is there are special cases where you're going to always play catch up. And rather than play catch up, you need to innovate. And that's like the biggest issues with a lot of these streaming platforms is the fact that rather than play catch up, they need to fucking innovate something new, and they're not going to do it because they want to be like Netflix or they want to be like YouTube or whatever, and that's going to be the issue.
Well, that's right. Rumble is going to be successful because they're not falling down that rabbit hole.
Right.
They're doing something else. So they
And
they
using
are
their
taking
own servers, I believe.
Yeah,
right.
they are.
So that's how Amazon got rich, is with their Amazon Web Service doing all that stuff. So what's Rumble doing? Providing an infrastructure, and that's what they fought for. Providing an infrastructure so that alternative voices that people want to shut down have a place to go.
Yep.
So that, quote unquote, the man can't take you down.
Yep.
Which is what got Parler.
Right.
Yes.
Which is what got
because
part of
they were on. They were being hosted at Amazon.
Amazon shut them down.
And Amazon shut them down. And
You shut them down and you take them off of the app stores, and you're done.
That's it.
Yep.
We're going to take a break and hit super chats because we did not do that at the very beginning.
Well, whose fault is that?
Yeah,
oh, wait,
my
that's
fault.
mine.
Yeah, well, that's also mine. We jumped right into the topic.
Oh,
Roland,
look, it's rolling.
Mr. Big 50 himself says, I really enjoy watching Failguard Friday. I had some trouble sleeping recently, and that game put me right to sleep. Still think moving forward, Tosh should have to be permanently in Ian's group. Fuck off, dude. She is annoying as shit.
That was
Okay.
horrible.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Look,
God.
you love Tosh. Shut up.
I literally want the fucking character to die.
Anyway, so wow. Okay, Ben Crenshaw or
Yeah.
Dan Crenshaw.
Dan
Anyway, so
Tosh is
yeah,
not a real person. I know.
Patch McCain.
Yeah.
yeah, I Patch McCain.
Yeah, you're
very,
not telling
it-
Tucker Carlson, who conceal carries openly.
Also, to be fair, I like Tucker Carlson. I don't like Tosh.
Hey, can you finish this up? I want to talk about stuff.
Yes. Tosh should have been permanently added into Ian's group. In other news, that isn't a bomb went at the box office. Yeah. In other news, shit, I just missed it. That isn't a bomb went at the box office. Went off at the box office.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought I read it wrong, but
Yeah,
didn't.
So this was a 68% drop.
yeah. It's a massive fucking bomb.
It's-
TVG Monster for $2 says, "Hi comics, everyone. Happy Monday." Sorry.
Happy Monday, TGV Monster. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, so I asked, what do you call it? Grok.
Sorry.
That I asked Grok 3 to do a picture of me, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do that directly." Blah 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 blah. The description. So I asked Grok 3 to describe me because I said I gave it a picture, and it did. And so then I submitted it, and it almost got it right, except apparently I am me plus the Jerry Garcia version of me. I was like,
I was gonna say, did it draw you as a Wookiee or a Sasquatch?
no, it drew me as me, but only like morbidly obese me. I was like, what the fudge? Let's try that again. And I'm like, okay, let me send you another picture because this is not working out. So yeah, regardless, I was gonna do this video using, obviously cartoon me to do the video this time, because I was trying to show everybody the correlations between the new Snow White movie and the late 1930s Frankfurt Institute vision of the future, which was, of course, what became the 1940s problem that we had with Germany, all because of the Volk movement, VOLK, and basically all of the teachings that came out of that, like critical race theory and what all the bullshit we're dealing with now, which is suspiciously called woke.
Yeah.
And why Snow White is
I
a
thought
woke piece of
means
shit.
You care. Isn't that what
No.
it means? It
No.
means you care.
Hanoi
Don't
Jane.
listen to Hanoi Jane.
Yeah, Hanoi Jane can eat a bag of dicks. And
She probably
speaking of,
already has.
I believe
Yeah.
she has. I believe
Yeah.
she has.
yeah, she did probably in Vietnam back when she was a
Speaking
con.
of someone who was in Vietnam.
Yeah, our buddy
Yeah.
that was in Vietnam, Brian.
Fuck that bitch.
Vietnam, Korea, perhaps. Maybe
Oh,
even
Korea, that was the 50s.
no, the Crimean War, in fact.
Crimean War.
The
Anyway,
Crimean?
Were you in the
doing super
horror
chats?
wars?
We only made it through 2 out of 8.
we
Was it Horror
only made it
Wars?
for 2 before we got
The
culture
Horror
war.
Wars.
Boer Wars.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
Wars.
sorry. Did I derail the supers?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
It's
then-
the Horror
It's
Wars.
the War of the Hoors.
The War of
Whores.
Whores.
The
Yeah.
Hoors.
Hey, it's
The
TVG
Hoors.
Monster.
Also, TVG Monster
Oh
gives you
my
membership.
God, the cock.
There you
Thank
go.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the membership.
Thank you.
Hey,
Also,
SFX.
Sabertooth Raptor for $10. In a world where Mexican Iron Man dons on a Smurf outfit, grabs a Viking sword, gets on a Spinosaurus
Spinosaurus.
wielding nunchucks,
Oh,
and goes to battle to save IPs with his battle cry of Call, Casino, Alf, Run, Horror.
no. With
Oh,
his
Cold
battle
Battle, sorry.
cry
With his
and
battle cry.
Culture Casino,
Yeah.
Alf runs in horror. By the way, we are getting closer and closer to me rocking the Alf onesie. Man,
Why would you do that to yourself?
because I don't know. I'm trying to get to 100K, dude. I'm gonna.
Alf onesie. There you
He's
go.
trying to attract Mexican Iron Man. That's why.
It's working.
So
Also-
when are you doing the body waxing?
Never.
Sorry.
Also, Sabertooth Raptor for $2 sent an email. Yes, I got it. We'll pull them up at the end as always. Also for $10, did you guys check out the AI Arnold Schwarzenegger Star Wars movie short? It would be great. Just needs say Culture Casino, Mexican Iron Man, Samurai Nugget, Comics Division talks in robot form.
I think that would
Sorry.
work.
I didn't see that.
Mm,
I did not. I
mm,
did not.
mm.
Also, Sabertooth Raptor for $5 says,
Oh,
Big
hi,
Bob
Mark.
is wishing on the Magic 8 Ball with Cat 4 reaching $1 billion. That's not fucking happening. Don't count on it. 800 million. Not going to happen either.
$5 million.
Cannot predict now. How about 400 million or less as I see it? Yeah, 350 is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
400
look.
tops.
No, I think it's gonna have trouble scratching that 400 million. If it does, it's gonna be like a last ditch week 5 thing.
Going to make $1 billion Canadian easy.
I don't.
Easy.
It's
Listen,
that like
the only two that
What?
had it below 400 million worldwide box was 70s at 380 and Roland the Wretched at 350. And if Roland's correct at $350 million, we're never doing these fucking predictions
It'll
again.
creep to 380. It'll creep up to 380, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, it just needs
Captain,
to be 370. That'll be enough. To be,
There you go.
to be
Captain
rolling.
Spire for $5 says clearly we can all agree with the movie failed only because of sexist, homophobic, racist white males who voted for Trump and didn't take the jab. Clearly.
Clearly. That is, you know what? There's a lot of applause that's going to be happening for that.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
super chat of the decade.
It's going to
right
win
there.
all the Academy Awards
It
next
should.
year. Yeah.
It should.
Yep.
You know why? Because it has a lesbian transgender in the lead role.
Yes.
Okay.
Randall, for 279 Canadian pesos, how do you think this flopping affects Fantastic Four? I think actually it will in some capacity because I think at this point the general viewing public sees the fact that the wind has been taken out of the sails of the MCU. Granted, it only took them 5 years to figure that shit out. I don't know, man. I don't think people are going to have faith in it.
More and
Now-
more people are getting apathetic.
Yeah, there's that. What could potentially save Fantastic Four? You could say that potentially it's going to have a underwhelming first weekend because of the fact that we're seeing so many failures. And the other thing too, it all depends what happens with the Thunderbolts. If it's a good movie or not, remains to be seen. I don't think it's going to be a good movie. It's probably not going to make Guardians of the Galaxy numbers. And this is one of the things I brought up on FNT. When you have a group of a team like the Thunderbolts, that's an unknown. When you had a lot of goodwill with the MCU during that time period, that's going to help with your movie. With this one, there is no goodwill anymore. So it's all fucking gone. Probably not going to do as well. What could potentially save both these movies is going to be the word of mouth if they are actually good. That's a big if.
The biggest
very
problem
big if.
that Fantastic Four is going to have to overcome is Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
That is, I think it's well known that I thought Josh Brolin and Zendaya were two of the worst castings of all time. I can't think of anything worse than Zendaya as Chani, and except for Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. This casting of Reed Richard may be up there. I'll have to see it to see just how bad he is in this role, but not even close. Nothing in Pedro Pascal says Reed Richards at all. So,
Yeah.
Is he a man that really makes money when you put him in a movie?
he's a man to hug and kiss.
Well, okay, I understand why they
doesn't.
keep putting Zendaya in things, right? And it's because of
Instagram.
Instagram. She has a high following on social media.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with Pedro Pascal. Does he have a high following as well on social media?
No, I
It
just
must be
think that
high.
know.
They're pretty high, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
he opens up his backside for the right people in Hollywood.
Yeah, possibly.
I
But
think
that's
that's
the
really
big
what
thing
it
right
is.
there is that one of the major issues right now with Hollywood is they keep casting people who are not necessarily actors that have these high followings because they think that that high following is going to translate into viewership. I don't know what the actual numbers are in regards to that. I don't know if that's actually the case. What was that you said, Brahma?
They think it's a built-in audience.
Yes.
That those people will go spend the money.
Right.
But I mean, I think Zendaya has proven that pretty wrong. I mean, what was the tennis one that she just did?
It was Challengers. It was the worst film ever. I actually cried in my car and called Tox on my way home.
And what kind of numbers did it do?
It was complete dog shit. I don't even remember.
Her following did not give a crap.
Yeah, that's
No,
the
because-
thing. And sorry, go ahead.
Because their following likes Instagram and TikTok. They don't watch movies.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
okay, that's a very valid point. With the younger kids, they don't go and
They don't
watch
watch
terrestrial
movies.
television. They don't watch movies. So yeah, you're right. That number is not going to fucking translate.
Exactly.
If you
It
could
never
cut the
was.
movie up into 1 minute segments and put it on TikTok, they might watch it.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, this stuff never was going to translate at all. So I think what you've seen is the penultimate result of marketing. Marketing went so far to fool itself into thinking that social media was a good marketing tool.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that there were a number of years ago. I don't know if any of you guys know who Lily Singh is.
Yes, we do. She's a complete disaster. She migrated from YouTube to her
YouTuber to
own
TV.
late night show.
Well, yes.
And
Well-
she is a what was it? She called herself a bisexual biracial woman of something or another.
Yeah. Okay.
You've been
so-
called out, culture.
Oh.
Yeah, Lily Singh was a YouTuber, and then she ended up getting a late night TV show, which fucking flopped because she had like 1 million followers on YouTube, and it did not.
They don't translate.
It didn't go well.
Remember me
I mean,
sending
Paulie-
you pictures of the
Paulie
Mr.
might-
humor.
Beast? I'm
Her
sorry, go
humor
ahead.
didn't translate either.
Well,
was that?
Paulie might be right though. What do you define a hit as? I mean, if the movie like made its money back a couple of times over, then it would be a hit. Even if it's smaller,
Yeah.
then you know.
Well, that's what Hollywood built. Hollywood was the smaller movies that didn't cost $100 billion. That, I mean, what is it? Airplane, all right, was made for $4 million, $5 million, and made $100 million. Okay. Top Secret, which I watched something on the other day, which is a great movie.
I did a
They made
stream
it-
the other day.
No, I know. That's why I was like, oh yes, I got to see this film again. It made $10 million. It took $10 million budget, which was outlandish at the time for a comedy when they did it. But it made like 40 million. So it made 4 times its
Okay.
budget.
How
back.
much the Challengers? How much the cost to make Challengers? Because it only brought in globally 96 million. Now, if this was a movie made
Yeah,
for
but
10
40
million,
million?
Paulie is absolutely right. But I don't know what the actual money.
Yeah,
Or
and what
the actual
about?
cost that went into it.
Did
'cause
it
Paulie
go to
doesn't have-
streaming?
40 million.
That's what, I
production
thought it
budget,
was
55
40.
million.
I thought it was 40. But
No, it's 55. So
still,
So if it cost 40 million to make, marketing and everything and stuff included, and it made what, 96 million?
Made 96, but it's not 40 million. It's 55. So Polly is short 15 million.
But it still made, or he's saying it made 40 million. So if it was 55 and it made 96, it made $40 million. That's still a positive when
And
Captain
streaming.
America
Okay,
Brave New
but
Toilet Wand isn't going to come close.
Hang on. The issue with that is that when it comes to these, and it's now streaming.
Okay. Streaming means jack all, and you know it, because if it's streaming on the platform that owned the product in the first place, then that's a non-argument. That's one pocket to another.
Okay.
Now,
Anyway,
if it's
hang
on,
back to my main point, which is the fact that, as Tom points out, times 3. That's basically profitability. Is you take the actual production budget, multiply it by 3, and that's when it needs to break even. Because the main thing that people forget to do, and they're like, "Oh, this movie made its money back." It's like, no, it didn't, because the box office gets a cut. Sorry, the theaters get a cut of the box office take. And then there's marketing. Now, granted, marketing for this movie is probably not going to be times 3. Well, not times 3, but it's probably not going to be as much as what, say, the Avengers or anything coming from Marvel or Disney or whatever these days. So,
well, I don't think we're ever going to
maybe
really
they spent
know.
$5 million on the marketing budget. I don't know.
Yeah, are they ever going to be truthful to us again? I mean, that's the thing. So, am I really going to know how much it cost for that movie? Right? How much did this film get negotiated out for what they were getting at the theaters?
Yeah.
Right? What did they get at the streaming deal? Who owned that? Who did what? Are we really going to know all that now? No. We're not going to know all those details.
It lost money. It made $96 million global. It cost $55 million to produce. You need, even if you were to cut the 50% that the theater cut is there, it lost money, not counting promotion.
Yeah.
So it's go away, Polly. I love you, but on this one, go to bed.
I would have
Midnight, and that's what I'm saying. Is Midnight Set saying there? It depends on who made it and who it was sold to, and I think Tom makes a good point here. If Sony made it, then yes, it's profitable. If Disney made it, then no, because Sony sells their movies to Netflix, Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, and all the other movies they sell to themselves. So it's just what we were talking about before. If you make a product and then you sell it to others, that's pure profit to you. You're not spending all the extra money to have your own streaming service and to do all that.
I mean,
and these people want to have that content on there. It's just,
I love Polly too, but I'm not sure Zendaya moves the needle on a movie.
Well,
Yeah.
Polly
Yeah, it's true.
Hang on. Polly sent me a manifesto via Twitter, so I'm going to go and read it real quick. It says, Challengers, the movie is considered to be making money, having crossed the 80 million mark worldwide box office earnings, with many considering it a successful run or a mid-budget film, particularly given the strong performance of Zendaya as lead actress. However, hang on, let me finish. You can refute it afterwards. However, it is important to note that the film's profitability depends on its production budget, which is reported around 50 million. And like I said, according to this, it's 55.
It's 55 million.
From the numbers, all right, or more. It says key points about Challengers box office performance: positive reception. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, contributing to its box office success. Hang on. It says Zendaya factors, Zendaya's star power. I don't think she has star power. To be honest with you. I disagree right there. Zendaya's star power, as seen as a major reason for the film's performance, mid-budget success, despite not being a blockbuster. Challengers is considered to be a successful run of a mid-budget film. Okay, so one thing.
Okay,
success. Let me get a point out real quick. Okay, the issue though, how big is her following? Like on Instagram?
I think in triple digit, 100
It's got to be
million, something like
huge.
that.
Yeah, 100 million or something.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
I don't think that
we
translates
got
over.
Viagra for that, promise.
I do think that Polly is probably right. The movie probably broke even, maybe
No.
made some money. I don't think it's gonna be it's super successful as he's saying. All right, make your point, Culture. Sorry.
No. Okay, it's considered successful. No, maybe that's true. It's not profitable. That's the word that we're looking for. And it certainly didn't make that money. It was split between MGM and Warner Brothers. It was not Sony. It did not make any money in theaters. It did have a decent run, but it's not even $100 million. At a $55 million budget, at $110 million with no promotional budget, that's the break-even point. Did it break even under those circumstances? No, it did not. You need to make 2.8 times what the production budget is to be considered a break-even. Not even profitable, because that includes the normal spend for the actual promotion of the film. And it surely was that one director, Luca Bugadakadukadus, or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, like, most successful film. But I'm going to tell you right now, I can't see any profitability in that film. And the film itself was complete dog shit. And the only people that liked it were the critics. So regardless, I'm just going to say you need to be rocking near 3 times what your spend is on your production budget to even be close. And
she has 185 million followers on
yeah.
Instagram. Her
okay.
engagement rate is about 3.11%, so 5.6 million likes on average for each.
Yeah, and it got
posting.
a 88% critics rating and a 75% audience score. So, I mean, obviously, the people that went to go see it are probably her fans, and people enjoyed it.
Her fans did go.
Yeah, her fans did go. Yeah.
Well,
if the percentage that engage with her Instagram went and paid $20 a ticket, that would be $112 million.
Yep. So the people that went to see her film was her followers.
So if she has that kind of
metric,
pull, right, that she can bring in 3 to 4 million people to see something, then she can find profitability in small independent films about the subjects that those zealotous people of hers that follow her want to see.
All right. Normally I'd be headed to bed, but I'm just going to introduce this idea. So we're going to, when we start talking about people's followings on social media, right? Because apparently that's how casting is done now. Anyway.
Well, I would argue that not all of her followers went, and that some of those people that saw that movie were probably people that didn't follow her. So that's kind of things where things get skewed, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But
I know one guy that went in a tennis outfit.
Oh, stop it. Anyway, so
what the tennis outfit on culture?
Stop it. I'm going to disprove this because look at this piece of shit film called Y2K, who had Rachel Zegler in it, right? She's got a substantial, social media following, and that film drew dick and made dick. It was a bullshit film and probably made back her salary.
Okay. I'm trying to pull up.
Rachel Zegler has approximately 2 million followers.
So I don't know who me and my monkey are, but
well, what about on InstaFace, Graham?
That's Instagram.
Okay.
At least that's what I'm seeing when I'm trying to.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Wow. Yeah. 3 million. Whoa. That's not good.
That thing did great. What an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even list the budget on here either. So
you think she's gonna pull huge numbers for Snow White?
Oh, okay. I got a question for you. Was this actually a streaming movie that they just released in theaters?
That I can't speak for. I can only speak for the fact that it was out there, made jack off.
Fuck! I just realized I didn't fucking share it again like an idiot.
I think Y2K was just streaming.
That movie for me.
Well, then how did it make $3.7 million domestic box office?
Maybe limited release just to try to get it into awards. I don't know.
Well, see, that's enough money that I could plausibly think that that's the marketing budget. That they had a limited release and they bought them all out.
No, that's an A24 film.
It's an A24 film.
In theaters December 6th.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, in the end, if you make a good film for a specific audience,
and you spend
within a certain budget, and you catch a little fire with that audience that you're aiming for, you will make money.
Yeah. Well, they spent $15 million making Y2K to earn how much?
Nothing.
3 million. Yeah, so that
But I
one
mean,
definitely lost money.
There's lots of movies in history that didn't make money, and we
Yeah.
thought that they
Well,
were.
and they were
It's
good
a Wonderful
films, and-
Life. Everybody seems to think that's a great. I fucking hate that film.
I tell you what, Tox, why don't you watch Y2K and give us a book report on it?
No. But I'm saying is that It's a Wonderful Life, when it came out, bombed. It bombed. Clue bombed. Right? These are all things that are called bomb. And
Big
when we look back
Lebowski.
yeah, Big Lebowski are
Yeah.
these, so.
UHF.
UHF. Yeah, there's lots of really good movies that did not go.
And then they
well.
made money and did stuff in
Cult
Well,
classics
where
on-
they end up
on
making their
video.
money would be in either through syndication, because like a lot of these movies used to be syndicated all the time. So some of these movies that actually flopped in the box office made their money back after the fact, and that's one thing that
The VHS market and the DVD market
Yeah.
later.
exactly,
Yeah,
Yeah,
which they're trying to eliminate, by the way.
Yeah,
which is
Coen
fucking
Brothers
stupid.
movies typically don't make enormous amounts of money, but then they don't cost enormous amounts of money to make either.
Yeah.
And their reputation is so good that over years they do extremely well in
Well, okay.
rentals and purchases physically.
Well,
You know, and
what it
so-
comes
Brian-
down to is if you basically make a movie for $50,000 and you make $3 million, you made money. You
Oh,
made your
yeah,
money
no.
back.
Oh,
The
yeah.
box
yeah,
office
they,
gets its
they
cut.
make their money.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
this is kind of what we're talking about is the issue right now with the MCU. Again, back to Captain America, Cap 4. We don't know how much fucking money it costs to make that movie, right?
Right.
So the issue there is the fact that
yeah.
because of that, did it make money? Probably not. If you
Mm-hmm.
have smaller budgets and you have a smaller turnout, even though you have a smaller budget, you still made your money back.
Well,
Hi, Tom.
all right, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Tom.
with this
Tom.
stuff.
Tom,
Well, who's Tom? No.
the
So,
elephant in the room.
Airplane. How
Okay.
long are the credits?
Like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
Not
they're
very
not that
long.
much. How long are the credits for these movies now?
Well, that's
Oh,
'cause
6, 7,
instead-
10
minutes.
minutes.
Well, that's because back in the day, you used to be able to get away with just having like the certain leaders of the certain.
But the
Crews.
unions have gotten a
Yeah.
hold of that
Yeah, but
stuff
the
and
unions
started
have made
this
it to
and
where now
this
you
and-
have to list fucking
To
everybody
be
from.
fair, Tom, to be fair, Airplane did credit the clapper, puller, loader, focus clapper.
See, now
That's
that's
right,
the that's it's probably their fault.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
If they
right.
wouldn't have gone to that extent,
I-
then we wouldn't have to actually fucking list
Yeah,
the
but
person who
as a
picks up the
joke,
trash at
they
the end of the
did it.
day in the office of fucking no
They
names
did it as a
production
joke.
office.
Okay. Real quick though, I needed to have left a bit ago, but
Well,
look, go ahead.
I didn't even come in for that long. I just want to say, like, yeah, Paulie's probably right. Her audience made it what little of a hit it was.
That is the only
hit.
people who went.
Challengers. But here's the thing that sucks about that movie is that is the perfect movie as an example of a movie that would have made a ton of money on DVD. Why? Because it made almost all of its money back at the box office, so it didn't have much of a hurdle to get over on disc. And that's what Matt Damon was talking about back in the day.
On
And he
Hot Ones.
he was specifically talking about movies like Rounders and shit that he made, right? Because Rounders didn't do the greatest at the box office, but the sumbitch sold like hotcakes on DVD.
It did. That's
It
true.
revived
So, like-
the whole poker scene in this country. I mean,
Exactly,
we started
like-
seeing televised poker everywhere.
It's because sometimes these movies, not everybody's going to go to see a movie at opening weekend right away unless it's a superhero movie. That was a new thing, a new phenomenon, right? Because before that, you go back, you would have like the random ones, like it was a Jurassic Park or Independence Day, right? Or Terminator 2. The
Right.
very few once in a while in between, usually 2-3 years in between these type of films. Now they're trying to do this every year with 3-4 movies, right?
Yeah.
They're expecting
And
us to
they
go to
can't.
these movies 4 or 5 times a year. And we talked about this morning.
Spend
When a
$30 for the ticket and the food, and you got to
No
get
way.
the special
Fuck that.
popcorn bucket, and you got to get this, and you got that, right?
like I used to go to movies a lot, right? But I'm also one of those people
Same.
now that I don't go very often. So when I do, it better be goddamn worth it because I've got sick and tired of every movie I was seeing being shit.
Right.
And that's
It's
just
a
it.
waste of money.
If I'm gonna go spend 30, I definitely ain't gonna go see fucking Captain America 4, right? Like, especially when Captain America ain't even in the goddamn thing.
and it's an Incredible Hulk sequel, not a Captain America sequel.
A movie that's
Pretty
fucking
much.
20 years old.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, we can agree to disagree, and Paulie and I are going to disagree on this piece of shit Challengers movie forever. I don't know. He might have been
with Paulie because he single-handedly put out all the wildflowers.
He might have actually been one of the backup dancers in the gay sex romp that was in that thing. But anyway,
they probably didn't sell. They did not probably. No, that's not very nice. But they probably did not spend nearly.
It may be
nearly
true,
as
but it's
much
not nice.
money. It may not have spent nearly. I didn't say that out loud.
Paulie knows I'm kidding. Paulie knows I'm kidding.
They may not have spent nearly that much on advertising for Challengers.
Tom,
hey,
Ginger
man,
Ninja's telling you, please just let it go.
Paulie is probably
release
gassing
your
this
feelings.
lowrider to go pay you a visit.
He's not listening anymore. That's
He
for sure.
quit drinking, so
he's probably like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out of here."
So you got to figure he's got to take it out somehow.
Before he sent you the DM.
Please don't piss him off.
He's not listening anymore. He shut this off.
Hey, so here's the thing.
Are you guys going to talk about 1923?
I'm going to go.
I watched it.
I'm going to go so you can do
Is it
that.
out? Okay, all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Started
leave.
this
I had a
week.
good time. I hope all of you did as well.
Oh my God, we got a wild Mad Cheesemo in the chat there.
He also saw 1923.
Yeah, well, he probably also saw Challengers, and he probably thinks it's the best movie he's ever seen next to
Challengers
Y2K.
is his favorite film. The only thing he said was wrong with it is it needed a volleyball scene.
Well, it had a tennis scene. It had a thruple where the two dudes were making out. Come on now.
Night culture.
I'm gonna go.
Check out
in
the
the room.
Tom's got this one.
Are you talking about Zendaya?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Gandalf.
Yeah, there's two things you don't do. Piss off a Latino man in Hollywood or have dirt on the Clintons and let people know about it. Those two things will get
Yeah, if
you
John
killed.
Leguizamo's taught us anything.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, the Mario Brothers. What a great movie. that
Shit, dude, I
was.
did not realize that 1923 came out, or I would have made it required.
Oh
reading for
yeah,
tonight.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. I was
I
like,
almost DM'd and tried to
You sh-
remind you, but
okay.
I
So without
watched it
any
late
spoilers,
last
what'd you
night.
think? What'd you think?
I
I don't know what you
I
thought
thought it
about
was
the
a-
first season either. So you'll have to kind of.
like
like
the
the-
first season,
I liked the first
Yeah.
season. I need to
Okay.
finish it, but I liked it a lot.
and this first episode kind of kicks it off right where they left off. I mean, it was pretty good first episode. I thought there were some interesting scenes in it. I find it interesting. Well, I guess Lioness also has some nudity. But yeah, 1923.
Oh,
has
Taylor
has
Sheridan
bit
ain't afraid of
nudity.
nudity. He's not afraid of that.
Yeah, he did it in Yellowstone too with Beth.
Yellowstone.
One of
and-
one of the
yeah.
greatest scenes in.
I'm pretty sure they have in Tulsa King as well.
Have they?
I think they've been in at least one or two strip joints already, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
we-
think there was.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe
I
I'm
know,
wrong.
we
but-
we've seen tits here and there in Landman, just not like over
Landman, yes, there've been
Yeah.
a few. Yeah.
Uh,
Anyhow,
ultimately,
that being said,
I liked the episode. I thought it went well. Good kickoff for the new season. Enjoyed it, but I also watched it at about 2 a.m. last night.
that's
with
weird
a
because that's
little
about the time I
little
saw.
bit of bourbon already in me, so
I was a little
fuzzy on
stoned.
some of the details.
No, I thought it was a pretty good pickup
Since
because
it wasn't
George
homework.
George Mola kind of set me down a path of thinking it wasn't going to be so good because there was a few things he complained about. But I'm like, oh, I thought it was all right. I get where he's coming from because he's complaining about how long it's taking the one brother to get to America, and I'm like, well, I think you got to understand how hard it was to travel back then and how long
Yeah.
it would probably take him to get there. But I get where he's coming from, and the compressed amount of time. And he said, well, it wouldn't help. It would have helped if they hadn't had a 2-year gap in between. And I couldn't argue with him on that. Like,
Right.
yeah, that's a problem, right? Because I'm sitting here trying to remember shit from the first season while I'm watching this last night, going, you know what? I probably should have just rewatched the entire first season as a refresher.
Yeah,
Because-
that would have been very helpful because I kind of thought the Irish guy had died. I forgot that I thought they hung him, but he got out of that, and then
Yeah, there was a few characters because I was also kind
Yeah.
of confused at first what what's her face the crow chick was up to because I'm like, wait, where did she leave off last? You know, I was like, shit, who's this guy? And I'm like,
well, and Mad said it in the chat. I was DMing him while I was watching the episode, and because of maybe having a little bit of bourbon, I'm pretty sure I said this last season too. But the thing that I absolutely do not like about the show is everybody has bleached white teeth.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even notice it until you brought it up.
It sticks out to me so much. It's just like,
Everyone's got veneers.
He's got a point.
Yeah.
He's got a point.
Like,
yeah, I didn't even think about it until you
notice
said it.
It's glaringly
Especially the
obvious.
Indians, right? Or the
Exactly.
natives. Like,
Everybody
say.
living outside, no running water, no toothbrush,
I could understand.
and everybody's got bleached white teeth. It's not
Yeah.
that big of a deal, but it really does.
I could understand the
shows
richer
up.
folk in the show, but yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Yeah, that would.
It really kind of bugs me.
The
The
Irish
Irish
probably would not have.
Yeah, exactly. I just was gonna say, there's no way that Irish guy would have that good
Actually,
fucking
he
teeth.
wouldn't have any teeth. Never mind. Got teeth with Steve.
If they weren't
He wouldn't have
knocked
any
out, they'd
teeth.
have fallen out. You're right.
Yeah.
Matt was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "It sticks out to me. I don't know.
I know.
It's-
I guess I never really thought about it as much till now. But,
like it's not just like regular white either. It's like bleached teeth.
but that's everybody in television now.
I know. I mean, you've got stuff set in the Middle Ages, and you've got people with bleached white teeth.
Yeah, that's
I
one of my
don't know
big
why
problems. Yeah,
I don't know why it sticks out to me so much in this show specifically.
Well,
Maybe
it's
that's why-
it's like in Boba Fett where he had the fucking veneers and it just fucking stood out. You're just
His
like,
teeth glowed in the dark.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, all these shows have that problem now with these actors, and that's one of the things I've said that's wrong with a lot of modern actresses and stuff too. Is a lot of the modern beauty regimens or whatever they do
Mm.
are so different and vastly different from them that's part of the problem. Plus, the way women act now. Like, there's only a few actresses who can actually pull off the way that women used to act, because they carried themselves much differently back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, men haven't changed a whole lot.
Yeah, we're pretty dumb. So remember, I don't mean to derail, but this just happened. You remember the time I said, "Oh,
Toxic
that was
Man
funny."
Trick Stop Hooker.
Yeah. So, yeah, this just happened. Irate specialist.
Like right now,
did
you
that.
just took that picture.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine.
So you're
Yeah,
streaming and hooking at the same time. That's
Yeah,
talent.
yeah. Well, somebody's got to support comics.
Yes.
So,
I
there you go.
appreciate it,
Yeah,
Tox. Thank
so
you.
Irate
You're
specialist,
rocking that Captain American
Thanks,
swimsuit there, by the
Yeah, I
way.
tell you, that's really disappointing. That's all I'm going to say. Really disappointing.
Yeah, you're not bulging
That,
very much. I think you had the
Yeah,
operation.
exactly. I mean, if you guys are going to do this, at least be accurate.
Yeah,
and
you have
put
to
a
give a
giant
micro
banana.
penis. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh, what? Thanks. Thanks. I
At least a
appreciate
little
that.
bulge. A little
Mhm.
bulge.
That's
No,
right.
I didn't mean to derail the show. I just didn't know if you guys were going to
I
talk
just
about
did.
that or not.
Somebody
it's fine.
did that truck stop hooker. I had to do that, but yeah, go ahead with the Taylor Sheridan stuff.
Nah,
I
well,
don't think
we
it's
pretty
going to
much.
derail it because we're probably going to make it homework for the rest of the season, aren't we?
Probably.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Well, at least that's good to know because this
Yeah,
is
if
one of my
I knew it
jams.
was out, I would have made a point to watch it. And
Well, George is the one who. I mean, I knew it was coming out, but I forgot what day it was, and he reminded me that it was on. And I'm like, oh yeah.
well, yeah, Taylor Sheridan stuff typically drops on a Sunday, I believe. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it
No.
kind of snuck up on me. Mad was like, "Oh, by the way, 1923 was pretty good." I was like, "Damn it! Now I've got to
I
watch
got
it."
on
'cause
Amazon Prime to go watch something else, and it was the
There
main
is one part
advertisement.
of-
Oh,
I really wanted to talk to you about too, but we could probably let it slide till next week.
The
But,
bunk scene.
Yes, because I was gonna make a joke about if the show was woke, he would have been okay with that, right? They'd have been lovers, and they would have we'd have had to accept it.
That's about all we could say without fully.
Yeah.
spoiling the
Oh, but what
episode.
happens is fucking actually pretty dope. I mean, the way it plays out.
Yeah. No, it's a
Yeah.
good kicking off episode. I would definitely recommend going to watch it. If you didn't watch season 1, go watch it. It's kind of it's a weirder show in that we don't exactly know where. I mean, the whole Indian storyline doesn't seem to have any crossover with the main storyline yet.
It's basically what it is, and I kind of figured that out, and that's what I said to George because I'm not a fan of it either. I wish they would have
That
just done it as
storyline?
its own show. I wish they would have done it as its own show because what they're doing is they're showing the two generations
Yeah,
that basically built the opposing because you kind of have to see the end of
the
Yellowstone.
reservation, and
Yeah.
then
and then it'll all come full circle at the end of Yellowstone. Basically,
it
is
will.
what
I'm just not
thinking.
a real
Yeah.
big fan of the
Me
way
either.
he's doing it.
Me either. Like I said, he'd have done that as a separate show and I didn't have to watch it. I'd have been fine with it, right? Like kept that
Yeah.
separate, but I understand why it's there because you're seeing the two evolutions of the two families that basically Yellowstone is about or whatever. But yeah,
Gotcha.
the two that
Yeah.
cross over eventually. Yeah.
Yep. It's just, yeah, I could easily skip those scenes and it would make it a better show for me.
And they
at
will
this point.
supposedly meet up at some point, but I don't know if it's because it's not his, it's one of his sons will, I think, eventually meet up with him because it'd be John's dad. Remember? Because they flash back to that in that one episode.
Yeah.
So like I said, so it all is set up to where they do kind of intertwine eventually, but like you said, and I agree with you, they should have just done it as its own show on its own, and yeah. Then we could ignore it.
And I think we've talked about it. The chick that's the daughter in Landman is also in this as the wife of one of the brothers,
Yeah,
playing
she's
a completely different character.
the British one, right?
No, the one
Not-
that's at Yellowstone, right? Well,
Oh,
at
okay.
the ranch right now.
Got it.
The one that's already married.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I watched it initially with my wife. I think it was like last year or something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's been out for like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember. I need to finish it because I didn't get all the way through. But I thought it was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Helen
lead
Mirren-
up to the end is really good. Yeah.
Helen Mirren's been pretty fantastic in it. Actually, Harrison Ford and
Harrison
Helen Mirren's
Ford actually looks like he
relationship
wants to-
is pretty good.
Exactly. Those two, this is their, and they've got great chemistry, and he actually acts like he wants to fucking be there.
That's
Yeah,
the point I was
it's
going to make. Is
rare.
that and Harrison Ford seems like he actually wants to be there. So
Yeah,
And
like
there's
he
a
actually
great
gives a
bit
crap.
that they both have in this one with a mountain lion, which is great. So when you see that, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's a little slow picking up, but they also set up the idea that they're kind of trapped for winter, right? So it's other than if they want to
back
go
when
on
there were
horseback.
actual stakes
Yeah.
when it got cold.
yeah.
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 Well, centralized heating and
Yeah,
cooling.
because Mad, number one, women in movies is bad, and number two, Indian women in movies is really bad. So Mad's
Are you
just going
saying
right through
Crow
this.
Chick as in she's like of the Crow tribe, or she was in the
Crow
Crow
tribe.
movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what they call her too. We want the Crow Woman.
Okay.
That's what they keep calling her in the show. Yeah,
night.
And
that's why I don't
out
remember
of-
her fucking name.
Out of the women on the show, she may be the only one with tits, and those are the
They
ones that
barely-
aren't shown, even
Yeah, they
though
didn't show 'em.
even though she's butt ass naked in
What
part
the
of
hell's
episode,
wrong with our
so.
chat? Ginger, his tits are great and all, but what about some full frontal male nudity? Can I get a high five? And I'm like, no, boo. I'm like,
Ginger sounds like mad.
but there's Sherry giving that high
Wait a
five. Sherry
minute.
wants to see
Well,
the
that's because
dawn,
Sherry
baby.
wants some schlong. Yeah,
That's right. Oh my!
the longer they're better. And I mean about screen time
I'm
too.
just not
And
gonna
Eric
say
K
anything.
comes back. Nice to see you, Ginger. So is Eric looking at his dick? I don't know.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Oh no. Oh, this is horrible.
What now?
I can't.
What now?
The Trump presidency is over.
Oh, I saw this. You're right. I saw.
Oh
this.
no!
Yeah.
Trump fired after forgetting to reply to Elon's email. Oh shit! That's just
Well,
sucks.
I mean, that's the same thing as ex-women do to him. So
That's true. Email me 5 foods you ate last week. What was it? What would you say you do here?
Yeah.
did you see the other thing that's really going on? Is like some AI of Trump kissing Musk's feet was
Oh,
going
yeah.
around the White House or something
Oh
like that.
yeah.
No, it was showing at HUD on the screens all over the HUD agency.
Did you
Housing
see
development.
Did you see Elon's tweet where he was like, "This is literally all they had to do," and it's just a Grok response to, "Hey Grok, write me 5 tasks that I might have completed as a government worker last week." That is a short response, but is also not verifiable. And Elon's like, "See, this would have been acceptable. This was all they had to do, but they couldn't even do that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty fucking awful. When you could turn
Couldn't
the
even
AI.
cheat on the homework."
God damn, that's so stupid. Okay, so before we get into the whole thing with Rob Liefeld pillaring Kevin Feige, or do you want to talk about that, Tom?
We already know Kevin Feige's toast.
Is he?
Like,
Like
I mean, what?
Kathleen?
Well, I mean, I don't think he's fired or anything like that, but I mean,
No.
we all know he's spent. This superhero movie thing is done. If culture was still here, we talked a little bit about this more so this morning. Like, if Superman fails, then it's fucking over, right? We're like really fucking over.
Yeah.
Like, it's already
Wait 10
half-assed over.
Wait 10 to 15 years for a comic reboot. It's kind of like
Yeah,
the westerns.
if
You'll
it's-
have one here and there.
Yeah, a Batman,
Westerns are pretty much dead, though.
a Spider-Man. Other than that, yeah, it'll be few and far between, or they'll just be TV shows, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the funny
Right.
thing about it is
You know,
that
Doctor Strange, Medicine Woman.
yes, Doctor Strange Medicine Woman.
Was that not
I
the
would
next
say-
Cumberbatch movie?
Yes.
Yes.
The funny thing, but not funny for Liefeld because he's been basically fucked out of money from Marvel, but
Like everybody.
like I was gonna say, like literally everybody, because Disney fucking hates creators apparently.
It's pretty sad when you got to give Warner Brothers credit on the DC side because they actually pay everybody just in case because they don't want to get sued for nothing.
Right.
Even EBS will talk about when he gets a nice fat check from DC just because they happen to use like one of his designs or whatever,
Right.
just some little thing.
Well, needless to say, Liefeld has some salt between himself, Disney, and Marvel. And he basically called for the firing. Well, I mean, he didn't call for the firing. He basically said that Kevin Feige should be fired because he basically fucked up the MCU. He did. Well, and he had help. He had a lot of help from Disney because they basically kind of gave him the A-OK. And as we all know, there's the famous quote from Feige saying, okay, we did our part for Queen and Country. We're not going to push the agenda anymore. But it's like, it's too fucking late, dude. Oh, this is something I've been saying for probably over a year at this point ever since they've announced that they're going to course correct. It's too fucking late. Okay. The time to course correct was 3 years ago or 2 years ago. When you fucking started seeing those numbers slide after Mom and Wakanda Forever, when you stopped making 800 million on your movies, as things continue to go down and down, that was the time to course correct. Because it's going to take at least a minimum of a year or two to course correct. By then, it's too fucking late. Your franchise is over. Move on and do something different. Okay. And they're following it up with the Fantastic Four, which is going to basically, what they're going to do is they're going to steal the Incursion Crisis, and they're going to use that to form this new Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is going to have all their properties involved. So this is some of the stuff that we talked about and speculate around. The Fantastic Four is going to end with their world getting destroyed. They're going to come to, I guess, the main MCU timeline, whatever the fuck the Earth.
Who knows what that is now?
Yeah.
Or will it be the other way around?
I don't think it is, because some of the rumors that we're talking about is, or somebody speculated, the reason why they had the female Silver Surfer is so they can kill her off, because Galactus basically destroys.
I know, I'm just being
the
facetious,
world.
but that being said, like,
yeah, and I think they're going to tie the Incursion Crisis in with Galactus in some form or fashion, and what you're going to get with Doomsday is going to be the destruction of the MCU, and then you're going to have not Civil War, Secret Wars, which is going to be Battle World with Doom. So you're going to have Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom in Battle World running everything, and the final outcome is you're going to have this rebirth MCU with everybody in it, the mutants, the Fantastic Four, everybody who's been missing at this point. So, well, you should hate it, dearest.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
You should absolutely fucking hate it because it's a fucking stupid idea.
100%.
At this point, what they need to do, it's like the same thing with Doctor Who. Shelve it for 5 or 10 years, come back to it after everyone's forgotten about all the bad shit, and hopefully by that time period, entertainment has improved where they got past the ideological horse shit, so you can actually make a fun movie again.
Doctor Who would have to do one more thing other than that, which is repudiate the timeless child.
Well,
That would have to
that's
be
the one
wiped
thing, because we
out of
talked
Doctor
canon.
Who
yeah.
is
That has to
massively
be
fucked.
wiped out of canon like it never happened, ever.
Well, and it's
they've
the reason why I say
destroyed
Doctor Who
Star
is in the worst shape of all these
Yeah,
properties.
they destroyed Star Wars, but Doctor and Wheel of Time, that's about to come out again. with that one. They're coming out with that. Yeah, exactly.
It's
Brahma.
trashed.
Yeah.
But
It's
what they did to Doctor Who with the Timeless Child is the biggest destruction of anything. And I don't think that they come back
retconned
from that.
it. They retconned
destroyed
everything.
the character and history and canon of the
Yeah.
Doctor himself. They destroyed
They
it.
didn't go. They did a lot to Star Trek, but what they didn't go in and do was go in and rip out Kirk, Spock, and McCoy from the original series and just tear them out of there and make them into complete dicks.
But you know they'd like to.
But they didn't. But they did with Doctor Who. That's what they did. They went back and they completely destroyed every single one of these characters that people have loved over decades. And they destroyed them all
And maliciously.
in 20 minutes. They destroyed their second highest grossing show of all time, next to the Grand Tour. Well, it's not the Grand Tour. It was whatever it was for.
Top Gear.
Top Gear. They destroyed that show. About the same time, they decided that they needed to get rid of their Top Gear show, which was their top grossing show, and realized they had nothing left. Their Christmas special show is now something called Death in Paradise, which the new season, they've totally destroyed that show. So they just can't stop over at the BBC.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have any hope for England coming back from all this crap. I don't have any hope for Europe at all.
Well, there was that one joke is like, what do you think is going to be the first Muslim country with nuclear weapons? And somebody said England.
Yeah, except that Pakistan's already got them. But never mind.
I know. I know Pakistan does.
But yeah, it's first Western captured Muslim country with nuclear weapons.
Death in Paradise was really cute. It was some English guy that was out of place in a tropical island. It was a great show. And then this time they changed the police officer to be black, which is fine, but they made him an asshole. And the rest of them were just awkward. I mean, just make him awkward. Don't make him an asshole. And it's done. It's done. Yeah, it is.
The stories that they're wanting to tell, I would be far more interested if they just did them animated, like DC has been doing their animated universe for I don't know how long now. Most of the animated movies are better than what we're seeing on the live action stuff. I mean, that would be the way to keep pumping out some stuff for hardcore fans, but to put it on pause for the actual MCU for 5 to 10 years.
So another thing that happened, and this is more on the political side, / news side.
Besides Ginger Ninja advocating for full male frontal nudity in your chat.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah,
but Joy Reid, apparently, her show, The ReidOut, got canceled.
No.
Joy Reid had a show?
No, it's awful.
It's probably all those Donald Trump hairstyles she kept wearing.
And with that, I'm going to cancel myself.
Okay. Shall we punch out, Tom?
Yeah, you can punch me out.
All right. And
MSNBC sucks. I heard he did more than just like turtles.
Oh man, I didn't fucking bookmark it. Holy shit, dude. There was
her crying.
I just want you to say dildos of Sparta. Just
you just said it.
Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
It's actually Dilios of Sparta, but
is it though? Is it?
Yes.
Is it really?
Is it really?
That's what's said. That's what's said. Anyway.
I'll go find it because there's actually a good version that I think Defiant Els did, where it's her talking about how great white people's tears are. And then it shows her bawling her eyes out because crying. My show had worth. It was meaning something.
God, let me see.
Yeah, but how much was that worth? Not a great deal.
Listen,
I don't think.
I mean, she's a multimillionaire because of MSNBC. So
Joy Reid having a show on MSNBC that 4 people watched is great. What I would love to see is the public firing of Joy Behar. That's
in private chat.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
Joy
it?
Behar's in the private chat?
Yes.
She's in the private. Okay.
No,
How
he
did
sent,
you
he,
manage
sent
to
me
fit
the,
her?
he sent me the link. Okay, it was Defiant Else that posted it.
The one where she's making fun of white tears and then crying. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's,
Not just her crying. It's even better when you get the comparison of her saying how great tears are.
yeah. All right, let's
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears,
White vigilantism.
particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, green waterworks. White men can get away with that too, and it has the same effect.
My show had value, and
It felt-
that I'm sorry. That that what I was doing had value. And
Those
in the
tears
end,
have
I'm not,
value.
I try not to cry on TV.
There's a
There's a
thing
thing
about racist tears.
About both white vigilantism.
Yeah.
go ahead.
There's a thing about racist tears. I mean, she is one of the most racist people that has been on
Oh.
TV in the past 20 years.
Hell yeah.
She is absolutely insane.
Tears
She's right
of
up there with
joy.
Sonny Hostin and the ladies of The View.
Oh, Sonny Hostin.
Everything out of her
she's not
mouth
as
is
dumb
just
as
pure
Sonny Hostin.
racism.
She's not as dumb. That's the only difference. But
Oh,
it's-
Joey Reid, yeah, is definitely smarter than Sonny Houston. Sonny Houston's fucking
but
stupid.
Yeah, they are racists.
Yeah, but they are very much both racist as hell.
WG from downtown.
Oh my
she
God,
looks
yeah.
like Gary Coleman. Thank you,
Dude.
ladies and gentlemen. He'll be here all week.
Yeah.
You know what happens when Quarter Black Garrett and Comics Division have a baby? Gary Coleman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will be here all week.
Okay.
But she's not the only one who lost her show. I mean, there were basically, 4 or 5 women who lost their solo hosting shows on MSNBC. And the funny thing is, they've made such a big deal out of DEI over the past few years, and they took a whole bunch of women of color off of the air and then threw in Jen Psaki.
Well, the
Right.
funny
One
thing
of their
about it is
spots.
that, that's what they're complaining about right now, is trying to say it's racism. And it's just like, her show's underperforming. First off, she's not
The
she's
network
not
is
good.
underperforming.
Yeah, their
But yeah,
network is
she's
underperforming.
horrible.
She's underperforming. Yeah, if they want to go and survive, and again, just like the entertainment industry, they had to put out stuff that people actually want to go and consume. And that's
Rachel Maddow doesn't even show up to her own show anymore.
Yeah,
She's basically got a guest host doing it because she's collecting a gigantic check from them every year. I think it's somewhere in the realm of 30 million is what they were paying Maddow to do one show a week.
Oh, really?
one show a week.
That's what she's been down to. They just recently, after Trump
And she's not even
got
showing up for that?
inaugurated, she was showing up for the one show a week. But after Trump got inaugurated, they had announced that she was going to be going back to do her old show. I haven't gone to check and see if she's actually doing it because I don't really give a crap.
No, nobody does.
Can't stand watching Rachel Maddow.
No one's
But
watching her.
the fact that we're getting no clips makes me think that, she's probably not actually gone back to 5 days a week like they had announced that she was going to, because we'd be getting Rachel Maddow clips.
Here you go. This is the act. So this is what's happening. They've run out of other people's money. And I'm seeing numbers out of Elon's group that 99.5% of the money out of USAID was going to some kind of corruption. And it was going to fund these people. One of the memes was out there. They were talking about people that was like, Doge is bad. It was Schumer and a couple others. There was nobody there. And it's like when you're protesting Doge because they took away your USAID money to pay people to show up to your rally.
Okay, yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening
Oh my
here.
God, that's fucking funny.
You're seeing all of these things fall apart because the money, what an ingenious thing to do by Obama, who's was an American citizen, shouldn't have been president. Big Mike. They got the American people to allow our own tax dollars to be used to destroy us.
I would argue it's probably not even our tax dollars. It's just dollars they printed.
It is dollars they printed, but this stuff is coming, and the tax dollars and everything got printed, and the money supply, we say, goes up. still a lot of tax dollars being collected.
Yeah.
That's being sent overseas, these other places, which is coming back and paying Joy Reid's salary.
Well,
So when I see Joy Reid crying, I'm just happy I'm not paying for her ass anymore.
Right. Well,
reparations have already happened, bitch.
The issue here with our tax dollars isn't used to pay for anything. It is merely just a means of taking money out of circulation.
It's removing money out of the system so that you
to
can
basically
try to control inflation through
Exactly.
their stupid economic principles that say
Right.
we can print as much money as we want as long as we take it out via taxes.
Yes. That's what taxes serve. So our tax money doesn't pay for shit anymore because the government just goes and prints money. Again, modern monetary theory we've talked about this shit before. That's what the fuck is going on. Our tax money is just to offset inflation. That's all it is now.
And we're not doing that. We're seeing the massive
good to see you,
inflation.
buddy.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I did like Matt
you're doing
Walsh's
well, man.
take on Joy Reid. I mean, we make fun of Matt Walsh a little bit, but he had a great take on her. Deeply saddened by the passing of Joy Reid's MSNBC show. It was a great resource for right-wing podcasters looking for a clip to play and make fun of. I can't tell you how many slow news days Joy helped me through. I hope she finds somewhere else to spout her inane bullshit.
Yeah, that's fucking great. But yeah, Peter Shea's right. He says print or tax. It's still the taxpayer's burden. Yeah, it is. And that's the thing that, back to the whole thing with taxation is theft. You just highlighted the example why taxation is theft.
yeah, because when you do run out of the tax dollars, because you can only tax so much
Right.
before people get really pissed off, right? And when you've run out of that, what do? You make it up.
Yep.
See the Weimar Republic, right? And I'm hopeful that Doge goes to Fort Knox and sees just what is there. Because remember,
Nothing there.
that gold in Fort Knox was collected in the early 19th century, 20th century? Early 1900s, I'll just say that.
20th century.
Was collected by going and forcing American people to give up their gold rings, their gold earrings, rings, watches, whatever they had. They had to turn it in, and the government took it from them.
That's
it was the
insane.
largest
That's right.
redistribution of actual wealth.
Mhm.
What's happened here recently, as you say, is a numbers game with fake money.
Yep.
But back then, they took actual wealth, which is gold. They took that, pulled all that together, melted all that down, and put that stuff in Fort Knox. And I doubt it's there. And if
No,
that
I don't
Most
happens,
people
think-
are
I don't
doubting
think it
us
is either.
there.
yeah.
Trump is saying he will be going there. So I guess
And
we'll find out.
That
But
the
you
hope
said
is over
something
the next couple of years
interesting.
he opens that stuff up. Sorry,
You
go
said
ahead.
something interesting about the taxes. I mean, people will only take
4
a
years and I
certain amount
finally
of
said
taxes.
something interesting.
Sure. But you said, people will only accept a certain amount of taxation, right? Before they start getting up in arms. But that's the problem with this monetary system, this economic system that they're trying to push on us from the left right now, is when you can't tax to remove money that we've overprinted into the system, then we get the inflation we've got. And
Yep.
that pisses people off just as much, if not more.
Mm-hmm. So it becomes a game of who can lay the blame on who more successfully.
Right. Well, and that's what we're seeing this from the left right now. They're already printing stickers of "I did that," like the whole thing with Biden. And it's like at that point when they're doing this shit, Trump was only president for 3 weeks, and they're trying to blame egg prices on him and gas prices on him. It's like, dude hasn't been president for 3 weeks at this point. Biden has been president for 4 fucking years, or
And
3
how
at a
do
time
you-
period.
How do you repopulate the chicken population that lays eggs when the Biden administration in November
Fucking
decided
cold.
145 million should be cold?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way to just make new chickens. They
Well,
have to
there
be
is.
born.
It just takes time.
They have to be born and then grow up to, lay eggs. It's not something you can just make happen overnight. That's not the way biology works. I mean,
It's not,
these people have no understanding of biology, economics, any of it. I mean, it's I did that thing on eggs is like, you're absolutely insane. We can point to the exact thing
But it's not
that caused
going
this.
anywhere. That's the thing. It's not going anywhere. When you go after, they intentionally went after USAID and all that stuff. That was the right thing to do, was you cut off the propaganda money at its knees, because your zealot protesters don't protest when it's cold. All right? They don't do that. They wait till the summer.
Well,
And
it makes me wonder how much protesting we're going to see with the U.S. aid money and taxpayer money that's being taken away from
Not
whatever the
being
fuck
there.
they're doing.
Yeah, the
nobody's
pallets of
gonna have
bricks
the
aren't
money.
going to be purchased anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
George Soros may still fund some of it just to keep up the illusion, but
then it's going to have to be direct money from him, as opposed to this obfuscated way that they did it. So it really is opening up the door, shining the light, and watching the vermin scatter.
Yes.
Is what they've done with that. So that's what you have to do, is go after the money, because everybody gets that. This is pissing off everyone. When you start talking, I paid $36 million or $50 million, whatever it was, for condoms for people in some country over somewhere. And they're like, well, that's just a drop in the bucket. Not to
Transgender
me.
comic books in Peru.
That $36 million that they were talking about to that one country in Ghana or whatever it was, I'm never going to see that kind of money in my lifetime. All right. So you're saying that's a drop in the bucket, the people that are defending this stuff.
Just a clump of dollars, Toxic.
Understand.
You know what my contribution of $17,000 would do in my pocket for that year?
Exactly. And
a lot
I'm
more
fortunate,
than what the government's
I'm in the
doing
top
with it.
10% of earners in this country. And being a top 10% earner in this country means you're a top 1% earner in the world. You take all this population together, and you're telling me that would be life-changing money for me and my entire family.
If I was not being taxed,
we
I'd
don't
have
get
a
a
lot more money in the
refund.
bank. Yeah.
We don't get a refund. Me and you write checks to the government on tax day, typically.
Yeah. And I got a $6,000 check in the mail from the government the other day. It's like, what the hell is this? All right. It was a mistake. So they immediately, don't cash that. I'm like, okay.
You will go to jail if you do
will
anything
go to
with
jail.
that check.
I'm like, what the hell? I didn't do this. And that's the everyday injustice of those kind of things. People get that. All right. And yeah, I understand. Eggs are pretty expensive. They're not in Mexico where they don't wash them like crazy like we do here.
And where they don't kill off the whole population of the chickens.
And that was all done before they got rid of those people in those areas that were doing that stupid stuff. This is the same FDA that tried to put an Amish dude in prison for making traditional Amish food.
I know, it's fucking retarded.
I mean,
it's selling it to people.
Or raw milk.
Raw milk. And it's just, listen, authoritarians they're everywhere. There are libertarians who are authoritarian. There are Christians who are authoritarian. There are liberal left-wingers who are authoritarian. All right. There are centrists who are authoritarian. You're authoritarian if you believe you know better how to live my life than I do.
Yep.
And if you feel like you have agency to tell me and that I have to follow you. That's the authoritarian part of that. And to everybody who says that, I tell you, fuck off. Get your nose out of my business. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she said, every time you stick your nose in somebody else's business, you get it cut off. And that's what we need to get back to in this country, is that attitude of, I'll do mine, you get the hell out of my business. And then that's how small government happens. And we get to this large government because, oh yeah, that's bad. Okay, yeah, you do that, and I don't want to. I'll have somebody else deal with that.
Well, the one thing I'm concerned about all the stuff that Elon's doing is not what Elon's doing. It's that we all know that at some point in time the Democrats are going to get back in power, and what's going to happen as a result of that. With all the cuts that are being made, potential cost savings, they're talking about giving money back to the American people, which would be fantastic. What happens when the Democrats and the left get back in power?
So
they try to reinstitute it unless you can.
They
put
will
it
try and reinstitute
into Congress that we have specific rules about how things are funded. It's not just write a blank check to certain, amorphous group without actually detailing where that money goes.
So
And this is where you're going to see people on the right get upset too, because as he goes into, say, the Pentagon,
oh yeah,
yeah,
there's more waste there.
all those Republicans that have their little districts that have gotten all that pork barrel crap to keep some munition being built in their district that is obsolete. They're going to throw a fit about it too.
I'm sure
I mean, that's where you're going to see the beauty of this, and we'll be kind of vindicated about the uniparty thing. Is it's going to hit both the left and the right when they start making these cuts, when they're going in. Elon's not going to look at it and go, okay, that's a Republican that has, freaking hang gliders being produced for the military that we don't actually use any hang gliders. So why is, $70 million going to this factory in this county? Oh, because that's what that congressman has cut out. And that's a lot of the guys on the right that used to, when the right was more the war hawk type situation. There still are plenty, like, Lindsay and, well, McCain before he died. But I mean, those kinds of Republicans are going to be just as pissed off as the left.
I agree. There's some comments in super chats I want to get real quick.
Sure.
WG for $20 says, Elon said, if I don't super chat you before midnight, I'll be deported. Well, I figured that money probably came from USAIDs, but you never know. Well, thank you, WG.
I need to get
I guess thanks, Elon, too.
Yeah, I need to get a button that says "You're out of here," so that we can deport WG.
Yeah. Also, Pinochet's helicopter tours. Good to see you back, buddy. It's been a while. Says, can anyone confirm Trump said to pay attention on March 4th for something big that will destroy the Democratic Party? Isn't March 4th the Ides of March? No, that's...
Yes, it's March 4th.
Is it March 4th? I thought it was like the 15th of March.
The Ides of March. If only there was this.
Yeah, I know. You're the producer. You can Google it.
It is
LOL.
the 15th.
That's what I thought. Something big is happening, folks.
Maybe that's when the Epstein list will be released.
Maybe.
Julius Caesar, March 15th.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's the middle of middle of March in the Gregorian calendar.
Well, I mean, if Kash Patel knows where all this stuff is buried, and he said a whole lot about some of these people, if he has it and releases it, puts it out there, there were some...
Well, it's Kash, it's Pam Bondi. I mean,
right.
There's going to be some places where they have to work together to get some of these things out.
And there were some of the Democratic-leaning judges. There was one that stopped a lawsuit or something here recently saying that, the president can't go to... Yes, the president has the power to do all these things. And they're starting to see some of the writing on the wall with this. And I was going to say something, and I know we've got to get to these, but I was going to say something real quick about something Brahma said about Trump putting that executive order out to say we don't have birthright citizenship anymore. It definitely clearly says so in the Constitution that's there. But what's happened over time is that the legislative branch, Congress and Senate, have abdicated their duty to the executive order of the president. We should not have this many executive orders to do all this stuff to run what's going on.
Right.
And we haven't had a budget, since 2007?
Yeah.
So we haven't had a budget in a very long time. Right.
The Senate hasn't passed a budget in decades.
Yeah, decades. So
that's their whole job.
That's the whole thing, is that you get that, it goes through the House and then the Senate says, yep, this is what we're doing, do it from there. Trump is going to take that, and that's going to go to the Supreme Court. It's going to be big enough that all of these states are going to push for it so that the Supreme Court has to deal with it. He's forcing many of these things to happen with these executive orders to make sure that the Supreme Court has to deal with it once and for all. Now, on
He's
one hand,
creating lawsuits on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. So on one hand, that's great. On the other hand, it's pushed out my 2A decisions that really pissed me off until next year. It has.
No.
Well, it's absolute bullshit.
So which one is more
important? The Supreme
important?
Court doesn't take more cases than what they're doing. I mean,
well, see, and that's insane because that only happened under Roberts. They used to take about 130 cases a year. Roberts only does half that. And he does that because he wants his clerks to do double research so that he doesn't get overturned. Really, the biggest thing that we need to do right now is expose those judges and work through to make sure that we have enough of a buffer after these midterm elections in the House to start impeaching these people. And they need to take a look at Chief Justice Roberts and the way that he's run this stuff and look at impeaching him. And
the other thing that all these lawsuits are doing from these district judges, every time Trump makes anything happen, or Doge specifically, all these district judges that are challenging every single move Doge makes, all it's doing is calling more attention to that a district judge can tell the executive branch what they are allowed to do, who they are allowed to fire within the executive branch. At some point, that's going to come to a head where it goes to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is going to have to tell all the judges beneath them, yeah, you have no power to do that. The executive branch is separate and equal. The executive branch can run the executive branch the way the branch thinks it should run. The president is
it's called the
head of the branch,
reason.
and he can fire any executive branch employee for any reason he wants. They serve at the leisure of the president.
Right.
That's always been the case.
The only thing that they've gotten 9-0 votes on is when it comes into those separation of power talks, because they know if they start breaking into the executive branch power, that's when Trump will pack the court.
Well, they also know that the Supreme Court, the judicial, has no ability to back up anything that they say. Unless you work in conjunction with the other two branches, the judicial has the least enforcement capability of anybody. They can't go subpoena people. They can't send law enforcement to go arrest anybody. If somebody wants to turn their nose at the executive or at the judicial, like say Biden going out and forgiving student loans after he was told you absolutely can't, what is their enforcement mechanism? There isn't one.
Yeah.
They don't have a military. They don't have police. They don't have anything. So they've got to play by the rules a little bit and keep the separation of powers in place.
The whole point of the court system was to make sure that, laws were constitutional, right? That's
right.
Ultimately what it comes down to.
But they make laws now.
That's not what it's supposed to be, but yeah. Mod Eric for $1 says the dim strong point is not biology. They do not understand it takes a while not only to lay 280 million eggs to replace 140 million hens when they have to grow up to lay.
They have to mature to be able to lay themselves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because half of the eggs are likely to be roosters, not hens.
Yep.
So you have to double the production to get the production back to half to get the production back to full.
Yep. Well, the other thing too, did you guys see Crystal Ball's comment about sex being a spectrum? And she got fucking pilloried for that stupid ass comment of hers. It's like, you clearly failed fucking biology. Okay. It's like, there's only two sexes. There's only two genders, and everything else is basically an abnormality. And I'm not saying that to be mean, right? That is just biological reality. All right. And the fact that they're trying to say that biological sex is a spectrum, it's like, you fucking have no clue. Okay. You're basically trying to rewrite biology to make a group of people feel better. And that is completely fucking stupid.
They haven't gotten isn't helping the notice that we're done with this game.
Yeah. People are fucking done with this shit.
Well, everything is a spectrum now. Gender's a spectrum, according to them. I mean, even we were talking about this on the Sunday show. Autism, the spectrum of autism now. It's like everybody is autistic to some degree, according to the left and to psychology now. It's like, no, some people, it's not everything is autism. Some people, it's just, personalities differ. Yeah. People are more comfortable or less comfortable with different things. There is a thing that is autism. There is a thing that is Asperger's, but it's not just everybody is on the spectrum.
Autistic. I'm a little bit autistic.
Yeah, it's not everybody. Just because you're antisocial or because you're introverted or extroverted, that doesn't put you on this weird spectrum of things. Some people are just introverted. That's what we called them before. Yeah. It wasn't, well, you're slightly autistic because you won't deal with people.
Right.
No, I won't deal with
words.
I won't deal with people. It's just because people are horrible.
Yeah, but the thing is, there are biological realities, and yeah, it's true. Certain things, there's times where biology does not conform, but that is again something that is not normal, and
Extremely rare exception.
Yeah, and they are rare exceptions. And the thing, I've mentioned this multiple times on stream and in videos, is that when they do this shit, is that they view something that is not being of the norm as being bad, right?
Mhm.
So that's
But
the
they're
issue.
trying to define everything as nothing is the norm.
Right.
There is no normal anymore.
Right.
It's just we're all sure, we're all a little bit screwed up, but they're trying to make that the definition of humanity is
right.
Well, they're trying to
every
make
little
everything
screwed up, every little piece of screwed up
subjectivity. Yeah,
has
subject
to be named as something.
Well, when you
And
take
and
away,
it's
Takes
fucking
away
ridiculous.
accountability
when you
and
take
responsibility.
away as kids having to deal with the fact that you lost, having to deal with the fact that you failed. So
Participation
in school,
trophy.
you've taken away the biggest thing that public school does is teach people how to come back from failure.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing that it does. When you take that out of the system, then you produce children as adults. So they have not grown up. They have not been faced with the harsh reality of life that requires you to grow up and grow a spine and a mechanism on how to deal with feeling bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's why we go to our entertainment. That's why we don't want our entertainment with all the shit reminding me out of real life, because real life sucks. I want to forget it.
Yeah.
I want Star Trek to tell me that in 300 years from now, we
Life will
solved
be
all the problems I've
grand.
dealt with. Right?
Yeah.
And we've got new ones. But that's what I want. And they took all that away. And now you have these people that are now teachers who've never been told that they have failed at something.
Or that,
and when they
or
do,
been called
they-
a fucking idiot.
They're
and-
never wrong about anything.
Yeah,
They're never
that's
wrong.
That's the big thing that you're right on, is like, you have a generation of people that have not faced any kind of hardship, whether it is failure because everybody gets a trophy, hard times because of an economic depression or recession, or what's going on right now with the economy. Yeah, life is tough. It sucks sometimes. I've basically been out of a job for 2 years at this point. And I basically, I told my wife, it's like, I feel great knowing that 20 years of my career has basically just been fucking flushed down the toilet because I can't find anything in tech right now. It is fucking frustrating. And, it's like I have to evolve with the times. Well, what do I do? I mean, fuck. I told her at this point, it's like I might as well become a garbage man. That pays well. She's
And
like,
actually, you know what? The U.S. Postal Service is hiring like crazy.
No, they're hiring crazy
until we get rid of the U.S. Postal Service here in a couple months.
Well, that can't happen. So the Postal Service has to happen. You have to have a mail system to be successful.
UPS,
Don't tell a feminist that.
That's right, mail, men.
For a mail system to be successful.
And that used to be a really good job. The whole point of the movie Hollywood Shuffle, one of my favorite ones of all time, with Robert Townsend, he wants to be an actor. He wants to do all this stuff and everything. And in the end, his grandmother's telling him there's always work at the post office. And he gets a job at a post office. And because of his acting career, he's making the come join the post office videos, that kind of stuff. And
at the end of the day, and I appreciate the sympathy, Tim. I really do. It's not your fault. It's just, this is the world we live in, right?
It happens.
And a lot of it, I'm not gonna say is a failure to adapt on my end, because I'm so dead set on sticking in tech for a career. The reality is, during that 2 years, I could have figured out how to do something else, like YouTube.
Well, it's your failure of being white.
Yeah. Well, there's that too.
Male and being
become
over
a plumber.
50.
Yeah. Being a white male over 50, and as much as I adore Jeff Charles, but there's certain things when he talks about DEI that pisses me off. It's like, dude, I get what you're getting at, but you have to understand there is a reason why people are pissed off about this stuff. And I, as somebody who was a manager working in tech, I fucking see it. Okay.
Yeah.
During meetings, I fucking see it, where they are giving incentives to managers and C-suite level people to hire non-white people.
Non-qualified people too.
Yeah, and non-qualified people. Yeah. That's the thing. Okay. It's like, I understand what he's getting at. And it's wrong too on the other side where they just point saying, "Oh, clearly that must be DEI." We don't know, and it's part of the issue with this stuff. I don't like everybody's immediately jumping on the DEI bandwagon when it comes to something. We need to find out if it actually is the case or not. But it is happening, and there are these programs in place, and that is a problem.
Well,
And
you know, when your resume won't even be looked at, when you know it's never even been looked at, and you know you're qualified, and, oh, no, I'm sorry, you're not qualified, or yeah.
Well, and
Thanks,
the other
but
thing
no
too,
thanks.
and here's the other side of the coin when it comes to the whole tech argument right now. That I'm going to counter my DEI argument, even though I do know that this stuff is going on. I don't think it's just that. I think the other thing too is because we've seen large swaths of people in big tech getting laid off. There is a large pool of candidates. There's times where I will go to a LinkedIn job posting, and it will be there for a day, and there's already 100+ applicants that applied for it. And I'm like, there's no point in applying for it.
Well,
Yeah,
they've already got a
after the
backlog of
first 30,
applications. Yeah.
After the first 30 applicants, they
It's
stop
pointless.
sending them.
Yeah.
Right. But the data is out there that in the last 4 years in tech, the majority of people available for jobs are white men by over 50%.
Yep.
However, white men have only filled 6% of the jobs.
It's not just tech; it's Fortune 500 companies.
Fortune
across the
500
world.
also.
Well,
So
I'm
your
using tech
talent
as an
pool-
example because that's the industry I work in.
But your
And
talent
Right,
pool
but we
is
saw
pulling-
articles that flat out said Fortune 500 companies are hiring this percentage of white people and this percentage of everything else.
Right.
And
We
just
saw
by
that last year.
mathematics, you're not going to be pulling the best people for the job. And if you've done that
Because-
over this 4 or 5 year period, you've
Because
already done
white
the
people
damage.
make up the majority in this country. So by default, you cannot be hiring the best if you're excluding 80% of the country.
Right.
Right.
All right. Back to chats, and then we're out of here. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5. I think Trump's doing the opposite of what Biden did, and he's burning the establishment down, exposing them all, and going scorched earth, revealing all the secrets. They can never use the scheme again. God, I hope you're right, man.
It's a little bit of that, yeah.
At least probably not for another 100 years or so.
Yeah. Southern Belle for $5. Best thing for TMF and Birds is let the flu circulate.
Nice. That's what happens when I go commando.
Indeed. Wow.
Sorry. Hold on.
Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5. There are many more reports right now on X by ex-FBI agents who have spies still inside saying since cash has been confirmed, FBI has been destroying evidence related to Epstein, JFK, as well as
Yeah, they're burning it
J13.
all the way
Right,
down.
deleting the hard drives.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah. Most people are just going to
Bongino-
go to jail. Most people need to go to
Bongino
jail.
going in at deputy director is going to be huge. I mean, that guy is
Oh,
taking
yeah.
a tens of millions of dollars pay decrease to leave his show to go do this. So
Good for
but
him.
when he comes out of this,
I
he's
respect
gonna
that
bank.
that
Good for him.
he's walking away from it to actually make a difference, and I
What
think
did
he
you?
will.
They're not doing an ATF director. So
Cash
Cash
Patel has
Patel's
been named as
ATF
the
director.
ATF
I was-
director, at least
So
interim.
What's the first thing you do when you want to destroy a department? You name somebody that's already in charge of something else. You name them the interim.
And
When
then-
that happens,
yeah.
you mean that department's gone. They just don't know it yet.
I hope so.
It's just
ATF
like in-
need,
Go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say ATF needs to be turned into a retail store, not a department.
That's okay.
It's-
Hold on. I got that joke. It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It's kind of like in sports when you name an interim coach, like 99% of the time that coach becomes the head coach.
Mhm.
So in reality, Cash Patel is completely in charge of the ATF.
He's going to shut down the ATF.
There's
and
no
fold it into
intention
the
to have
FBI.
somebody else go in there.
There's no reason
And
that the ATF
so-
needs to be
It
separate.
should never
With
have
him
existed
running
separately.
FBI and ATF with Dan Bongino, then ultimately you could have Bongino working on the FBI side while Cash Patel is dismantling the ATF side.
good.
So he can focus because he knows his second in command is doing the same thing at the FBI.
Yeah.
Because remember, Bongino went on that huge rant last year that anybody who is in the FBI that was put on a case having to do with Jan Sixers needs to automatically be fired. They had 80% of the FBI workforce pulled off of any other cases, including child sex trafficking,
Mm-hmm.
to look at Jan Sixers specifically.
Wow.
Yep.
80% of the FBI workforce for the last 4 years has been looking at Jan Sixers.
Don't forget the
not
one.
at
Political
anything
enemies,
else.
man. That's,
Wait
that's
a
how you
minute.
win when you're a Democrat.
Don't forget the percentage that were involved setting it up before it happened.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, in the crowd. By the way, we did get a Rachel Maddow clip tonight. Apparently, she went on a 4-minute unhinged rant against MSNBC's owner and all the upper management about getting rid of Joy Reid.
Talk about entitlement.
She's next.
She went on a full meltdown for 4.5 minutes about Joy Reid being fired.
Yeah, that they're fucked. All right, Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. Says it's not the Supreme Court's job to save the American people from. I just moved my mouse. Sorry, from poor choices in elections. Chief Justice John Roberts when he implemented Obamacare.
It is the Supreme Court's job to stop unconstitutional laws from being passed, which he refused to acknowledge. Yep.
And I'm sorry, Roberts rewrote Obamacare when he decided, no, we view it as a tax, not as a healthcare plan. So the only reason it went through is because he redefined it as a tax.
Yeah. Which they absolutely had sworn it wasn't beforehand.
There was no wording in that said it was a tax.
All right. Pinochet for another $2 knows how the bird flu skipped over Mexico. The culling happened to appease the Biden regime. Yeah.
It was him burning everything down on his way out.
Yep.
Well, not
I don't
him.
think he was
it was whoever was in charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was trying to sabotage things because
it was
they
all
know
those
that
people that just put their house up for sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
For another
everybody in
$2,
DC.
they have transcended the status quo. Communism has always been bent on transhumanism, perfecting the human.
And they're always shocked as hell when it doesn't work.
I don't know if I would consider communism to be transhumanist, but
They're trying to make everybody the
I don't know.
same.
There was an element of that in the old school communists.
Well, Jane Fonda's not human, and she's a communist, so there you go.
Well, yeah, there you go. All right, Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. Supreme Court signaled affirmative action was done for and unconstitutional, so they created DEI.
Yep.
Well, DEI was in there long before the Supreme Court did anything about affirmative action, because that was just last year that they shut down affirmative action in public colleges is basically where they shut it down.
Yeah.
College admissions.
Oh, yeah.
But DEI has been around a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it's been around. I would say officially since 2000s, unofficially probably longer than that.
Yeah.
It's always a long game. That's what communists always play, the long game.
Well, I would say the concepts of DEI have been around a lot longer than that. Because remember that clip we were watching when, who was the guy that said he was going to be a fireman? Want to be a fireman?
Oh yeah.
Totally blanking on his name.
It was Adam Carolla.
Oh, Adam Carolla. And he basically was like, how long have you been here? And it's like this black chick. He's like, a week. How long did you wait?
And he'd been waiting 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. It's
all right. So I'm going to say something about that. 1988, I applied for a job at Railroad in the city where I lived. And they told me then, had I had more American blood in me, I would have been a shoo-in. But because I was a white male, it wasn't going to happen. 1988, folks. This stuff's been around for a long damn time. And discrimination has been around for a long damn time. All in the name of, these other races, they need help. They're not good enough. So I'm with Morgan Freeman. He wants to get rid of Black History Month and all this. He says, why do I need a month? What, do you have a white people's month? No.
Well, that's something I've said for quite some time. It's like the issue is that Black history is a part of American history. Why not just teach it?
It is the same. It is the same, right? It is the same. Just teach.
But you don't teach your
facts.
bullshit version of it, where only the black people built America.
Yeah, well,
the
that's
1619 project version of it. I mean,
right. Well, okay. I'll tell you that. All right. in reality, slavery was very bad.
No, it was.
But you know what else was real bad? Indentured servitude. Who actually built the United States is indentured servants, because they came over.
Well,
and said,
okay,
if you work for me for 10 years and the land,
yeah,
and you work for me 10 years, I'll give it to you. Well, they didn't say any of that stuff, that I would make sure you had food or any of that kind of stuff or anything.
Well, the issue I have with the whole thing with like this segment of the population built this country, it's not Americans, immigrants and Americans built this country. People that came to this country built this country, whether you were free, a slave, or indentured servant.
You're right.
Everybody
Immigrants came
fucking
and killed my
contributed.
people and took this country.
Yeah. Homesteaders built this country just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
So the indentured servant thing, they came over, 10 years, you get the land. And the rich landowner would say, okay. But they didn't promise that it would give them good living conditions. So these people often died. And when they died before that, the landowner got the land. So that's how you have all these rich landowner families in the East Coast. So you kept having these people coming over from Wales and from Ireland and from certain parts of Europe.
The Chinese and the
all in
Irish were
German-
treated like absolute crap.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they were. 100%. The Irish would come right off the boat and they'd ship them right down to the South for the Civil War. And a lot of them never came back. So you want to talk about the people who really got screwed during that time, the indentured servants that came over from that, right? That they got screwed because they were sold a bill of goods. They come over here and they died in the thousands like that. So,
all right.
Pissed off Pinochet.
No.
Oh, no.
What he's saying is completely
the
true.
sins of slavery was paid. Sorry, I jumped. The sins of slavery was paid for in blood during the Civil War. Any reparations today dishonors those who fought to set things right.
100%.
I would agree with that.
And at the founding of the country, slavery would have been abolished if they could have gotten everybody on board with it.
Yep.
It was the original drafts had language about, slavery and about everybody being equal. The problem was you couldn't get the South states. You had to be unanimous to fight against England.
Yeah, because it was an
declare independence.
The economic powerhouses were in the South, and they were using that to make that money.
To go against England and separate and declare independence, you needed to have everybody on board. And that's
right
why
now
it was
it's just
taken out.
Maine going against Trump. So that was a hilarious takedown. Oh my God. And that chick looks like a man.
Who is that guy that runs
That
Maine?
chick. Comics, did you watch my show yesterday?
I haven't had an opportunity. I was gone all day today. I'm going to try and catch it tomorrow.
I did a whole segment, talks and comics, where it was. So we took a look at all of Elizabeth Warren's outfits. They're all the exact same jacket and black shirt, just in different colors. And then I pulled up the governor of Maine, and it literally is the same jacket and black shirt underneath. It's like it's the starter kit for these leftist lesbian, crazies.
Funny.
It's kind of funny if you just pull up Elizabeth Warren's Twitter and just scroll through. Every video is her in the exact same outfit over and over and over again. Just 20 different shades of color.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
So
I don't know that
her
some of chat thought it was funny, but Carrie was like, "Well, when you find something that works, you go with it." And it's like,
it's the
okay,
Janet Reno
she
style.
went with
Yeah,
it.
Janet
Reno.
Yep.
All right.
Same thing.
All right, gents, we're out of here. We'll start with you, Brian.
Well, indeed. Wonderful. Marvelous. Had a show today. You feel free to go back and watch it, anybody. It was all about the movie Earthquake, which some of us old people remember very well. The earth trembled beneath us. It was a real knee trembler. A lot of fun. Good laugh. So check that out if you get the chance. Tomorrow night, I will be on Nick's channel as usual doing Toxic Tuesday. We're on the second Bill and Ted movie. Tomorrow was the subject. Later in the week, amongst other things, Saturday night, Bourbon and Boarding, of course, with Brahma and I. The greatest hockey show on the YouTube and Rumble on a Saturday night at 9:15 p.m. Mountain Time with us in it.
With two bald men.
Guaranteed. That is the absolute, I tell no word of a lie, it's the greatest show in all those categories at that time.
We both wear hats on Saturday.
We both know that.
Old men
And
wearing hats.
other than a couple of other videos I might be doing, next Monday show on my channel, quick early plug for that. I think we're going to do some music. I think we'll talk about Van Halen, to be honest. I think it's time we did some music.
Which version?
We'll do, to keep it shorter, we'll do Dave Lee Roth first, Dave Lee Roth era.
Okay, good.
Yes, just because nothing against Sammy. Love Sammy.
Daily
I mean, you could go with the shortest version and go with the third singer.
Go with Gary. What's his name?
Exactly.
Nobody cares or remembers.
Was his name Pete Best? Was that who that
I
was?
had no idea they
Pete
had a
Best.
third singer.
Yeah, Gary
they went through an
Schoen-
iteration in the
Schoening?
late 2000s.
Wasn't he the guy
or
from
early-
Extreme?
Extreme,
which
yeah.
which
Yeah.
the Van Halens actually passed away? Was that Eddie Van Halen or?
Eddie.
Eddie.
Yes,
Eddie.
Eddie, he did. Yes. A
Living.
sad loss.
Yeah. Great time.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we'll talk Van Halen. You know, in fact, I might do some on YouTube and then go over to Rumble and where we actually play some music.
Gary Sharon, Lindsay the Cynical Geek, got it.
I saw it Extreme Live once. They were pretty good.
Yep. Ice Cream Man's my favorite.
Oh, I love that. I'm your
Thank
ice
you.
cream man. Stop me if you're satisfied.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway,
Tomorrow night I'll be on Mad's new channel. That is the name of Mad's new channel, where we do what he's calling Madapap. So he comes up with a crazy story about somebody actually from history, and we pause every paragraph to talk about it. So it's interesting. We're having fun with it. Saturday night, bourbon and boarding. Sunday morning, I've got the bullpen. Chad will be gone this Sunday again, so we'll have a panel to kind of replace
Or
my
Chad,
co-host.
DEI strikes again. Damn it.
Yeah. Dude went on a 2-week vacation. I'm starting to really think that he might be a government employee, because who gets to go on straight 2 weeks vacation?
Oh, somebody who's not getting U.S. AIDS money.
Right. So he'll be gone. This week we had Carrie Smith, Mad, and Slender helping out. I'm trying to work on Michelle from Force of Light Entertainment for this Sunday. Comics, if you want to come on, we're just kind of doing more of a panel show than the me and Chad show.
If you hit
So-
me up, yesterday I could make it, but next weekend, unfortunately, no.
Well, fine.
It's a gay
Whatever.
thing.
But yeah, we do the politics thing on the Sunday morning show. So come check it out. Cheers, everybody. Have a great night.
All right, and before we head over to Toxic Man Flu, we have some more 3D images from Sabertooth Raptor, as always. Thank you, sir. That's a pretty cool design. This I think is actually pretty cool too. Nice work with the colors, man. It's pretty spiffy. Anyway,
cyber,
Cybertruck,
very cyber.
very cyber. Man Flu. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
huh?
Before we get to you, Pinochet also is up with a $1 Green Machine rant. It says, or the obligatory Maoist pantsuit Hillary and Kamala leftists.
They love that most too.
Yeah. And I don't know if I actually, yeah, I did start. Okay. And oh, that's going to be great. Irate Specialist.
7 months as a member.
No, sorry, I was looking because I didn't get WG. Sorry, it kind of distracted me. Celebrating 7 months as a member. Fantastic. What?
Phalanx of
Phalanx.
flamboyant
Phalanx.
theatrics.
Okay, go ahead and finish reading it.
A fantastic phalanx of flamboyant theatrics. This show's sesquipedalian splendor is simply scintillating.
Oh my God, that was awful.
Sesquipedalian.
Also, WG celebrating 26 months as a member. No duh, there's no gold in Fort Knox. They moved it in the 60s after Goldfinger tried to...
Damn it, it's Gold or Dirty Bomb. Everybody thinks those James Bond movies are campy. No, that's real life, dude. That's real life.
And this
Yeah,
is
so I thought
fantastic.
this was good. Yeah, there's a lot of this stuff going on. What happened? Oh, man. Somebody's taking it up the butt. And But I didn't want to.
Well, the thing that sucks about Dan Crenshaw had so much fucking potential. He really did.
And then what happened?
Eye Patch McCain.
He made $20 million in 1 year by taking all those monies.
The context for anybody who doesn't know is Eye Patch McCain was caught on a live mic or a hot mic saying, "If I ever meet Tucker Carlson, I'll effing kill him."
Mhm.
No, I really
Yep.
will.
I really will. Yeah.
He even said that.
Sounds like a threat.
And then it was
Yes.
great because Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, "Did you really threaten my friend Tucker Carlson?" And he said, "LOL, no."
And then we
community noted him to hell.
to hell. And then Tucker responded to one saying, "Come on, let's do a show." Because Tucker, it's well known, Tucker packs every day.
Good
all
for
right?
him.
He's got something. He's got a backup too, and he doesn't care if you've got him on wherever he did. Just blows right through the signs, all that stuff. That's a guy who has actually been shot at in his life. So
That, and if he had Dan Crenshaw on, Tucker would do his little uncontrollable laugh constantly because Dan Crenshaw is such a freaking idiot.
yeah. So yeah, Dan Crenshaw is pretty damn funny. Oh no, keep going. Come put me back.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've got some of these idiot fucker things, assholes.
You know,
Hate it.
when you do that, Tox, it just encourages them to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
then I
so,
have to turn off my notifications for the day.
Yeah, so this is apparently me with the Comics Division's dong, I guess. I don't know what that is.
I think that's your fleshlight.
Okay.
Could be the shortest lightsaber I've ever seen in a man's
So,
hand.
yeah, it is. That's the smallest.
Before Doge,
So this is
after.
Deeple before Doge and then after. Yeah, Deeple did that one. I thought it was good.
It's brilliant.
Release the Gary clip.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When EV Muck's subscription expires 223 days, thank fucking God. And when the stream is late and Gary, do not blame Comics Division, blame Toxic Man Flu and EV Muck. Yes. And then Irate did this, and all I'm going to say is, fuck you. For that one, yeah, no. This
The
is
obvious answer from culture to that is just singing "With Arms Wide Open."
and what the hell? Where's the gold?
You sure it's not butt cheeks
Is that
wide
Polly? I don't know who that's supposed to be. Yeah, this, and I thought this was good. A grad of the Dix Division School of Driving on his way with Culture's pills. Yeah, somebody get a little boner there.
If your box truck is stuck in the girders for more than 4 hours, contact a doctor.
Contact a doctor.
You've got
Medical
priapism. When I first saw that commercial, I just turned to the wife and said, "I never realized I had priapism all this time." What the ever-loving hell?
That's She-Hulk wearing your hat and glasses.
Yeah, I guess that's lots of bulges. Thanks, Roland. You're an asshole. I'm not gonna do the Spider-Man shit. We did the truck stop hooker I asked for. That's my fault. And I thought this was great. Largest, most entrenched bureaucracy on Earth. What did you get done last week? Boom.
Yep.
And there was one woman, she said, I only had 48 hours to respond back to that, but she had more than enough time to call CNN and do an interview.
And start crying.
Yeah,
my
it's literally the end of the world. 5 bullet points.
What the hell is this? It's okay. I responded back to this, says Captain America truck stock hooker is due to release in Marvel's Phase 6, codename poop emoji, in late 2027. So I asked for this because I responded to that one. So that's my fault.
It's Captain America, the Rear Avenger.
This one isn't so bad. Fuck you guys. Yeah. No. Take me away to another one. No. No. No, none of this is good.
That actually looks more like Tox in real life.
That was actually the closest to it. Yeah.
Thanks you all very much. And then a bunch of Bell posting Black Jesus Gronk pics. And one of them was Morgan Freeman.
Oh, that's Morgan
This
Freeman.
is fucking awesome. I would.
Well, he has
oh
great
my
blood.
God.
He's played God. Completely
I
son.
would do this. Morgan Freeman's, yeah, he's a no.
Was that Varys from Game
Yeah,
of
I
Thrones?
guess. Here I am with a pot plant.
You look like the Dalai Lama.
Yeah. And here, this is introducing Friar Tox Olstein. So I'm a Joel Osteen clone there. This one actually hurts. That actually hurts me. And here's a monk seal.
It's a
Seal
Black
the
Buddha.
seal. Yeah, Black Buddha monk seal. And yeah. Oh yeah. Live and let weave. I'm not gonna do that. We'll get claimed. Yeah, look at this shit. Look at this shit. I can't deal with this anymore. No, I'm not kissing Wesley Crusher. So
All right, I'm just gonna pull a
What the
Cult
hell?
Casino.
what the hell?
I have no idea. I was waiting for your commentary to keep going in the background.
Oh,
That's
really?
fine.
But okay, the one on me on the horse with Zelensky. Fuck you. From Bull's Milk with Love, that was cool in the lobby. And then we get in. Remember the Arby's sandwich with the horsey sauce meat?
Jesus!
Yeah, that was great.
Fucking traumatized. I can't go back to Arby's now.
Zelensky. I do love that the European Union is basically like, well, we'll just kick the U.S. out of NATO and we'll form an army and we'll go defend Ukraine. It's like,
Okay.
please do.
We've been
Because
asking
we're
you to do
tired
that
of
for how
funding
long?
your lazy asses for how many decades
So this is a
now?
threat. It's a
Yeah.
strange threat, isn't it? Really?
Please make it happen.
Your terms are acceptable.
Yeah.
Fuck you! That's my
and-
name!
And when Russia does nuke all of Europe into the ground, don't call on us.
It's not much of a threat saying I'm going to stop taking your money.
Tom
That's a
hates
threat.
Mom so bad on SNL. Hamas took credit for it.
Oh.
Oh, and here's Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton asks, can you imagine if James Madison or Thomas Jefferson tried to overthrow the government?
I know. Oh God.
Yeah, because none of the founding fathers ever did anything to overthrow a government.
I know, this thing is so fucking laughable.
They're so stupid.
Well, now they put me with Snow White.
I see that.
And the 7 miniature Mexicans? Is that what that is?
Yes. It's the 7 miniature field hands.
I love all the people who are saying that the founding fathers would never be this nationalistic, and it's like they literally founded a nation and made it the most nationalistic thing that they possibly
It
could.
basically said stay out of foreign wars
Yeah.
and entanglements in Europe.
And here's some cannons for your private ships to go shoot down anybody who messes with you, because there is no limit on the Second Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Free cannons. You get a cannon. You get a cannon. Everybody gets a cannon.
I just wonder if they have handcuffs big enough to arrest Pritzker. That dude's fat.
He's got his own. It's okay.
Bell is asking if her chat was read.
No, I thought it was more kind of a black on white thing. rather than red.
So Southern Bell
Right,
for
Bill.
$5. Best thing for TMF and the birds is to let the flu circulate. I think we did read
we
it.
did.
We
Yeah.
did.
We got it.
I
Exactly.
responded back to, that's what happens when I go commando.
She's right.
Yes. All right, folks. Good night. We will see you next time.
Cheerio.
That's a fact.
Also, thank you, Eric.